So good day to all of you. Right now we will discuss the VB1 Intro to Computer Programming. Okay, so let's start without further ado. So first one is, what is a programming languages? So programming languages are programs that allow users to create programs using a restricted vocabulary and a structured syntax that the computer can understand. So to make it simple, it is kind of similar with humans, wherein we have our own languages like Tagalog, wherein we use that one to understand each other, which is kind of similar with the computers, wherein they use restricted vocabulary, like for example, a C sharp, C++, a Visual Basic, the one that we're going to use later on, and so on and so forth. Python, like the newly created languages. Okay, so next one is a Visual Basic 2015. So as you can see right here, this module is actually for 2015. But don't worry, 2015 and 2019 is not that uh, different when it comes to features. So some features that is added on the 2019 is not that far to 2015. So it's okay. If you're going to use 2015, then it's okay, it's fine. And if you're going to use 2019, then better. Okay. So Visual Basic 2015 is a computer language developed to help you create application programs that work with the Windows OS. And then this Visual Basic 2015 or 2019 has two features. So the first one is event-driven language, means it does not follow a predefined sequence of instructions depending on which event occurs. Meaning, you're the one, or you're the boss, you're the one ruling your program that you're going to create. Like, so what do I mean by that? Like, for example, the normal way of doing a calculator is like, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, right? But if you program in your calculator like 2 plus 2 is equal to 5, then it's possible since you're the one creating your algorithm, you're the one creating your formula. Okay, like 2 times 2 should be 4 or equal to 4. But you can say 2 times 2 is equal to 10. So you can do it. You can do something like that. Okay, so the next one is object-oriented language, meaning it uses software objects that can respond to events. Objects combine programming code with data. So meaning, of course, we have a lot of objects or components with that one, or on your program that you're going to create. Like for example, a button. Of course, you need that button for you to do a certain action. So let's say you program that button to exit to your program, then so be it. If you program that button to add, say a certain values, like first value of this one and then second value, then so be it. Since you program it that way. Okay. So those are the features of Visual Basic 2015 or 2019. Okay, next one. So what do you need to run Visual Basic 2015 or 2019? So of course you need a PC. Okay, so could be a Vista, but I doubt there's still someone using a Vista. So maybe XP is possible, but Vista is maybe I don't know. And 7, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, so you can use Windows 7 or Windows 8 or even Windows 10. Okay, so this is the most recommendable version of Windows since this is the updated version. Okay, so in running a Microsoft Visual Basic 2015, so you just need to update your .NET Framework. Okay, so all you need to do is type this one, .NET Framework. Oh, it's not showing on my PC right now, but you have to update that one so that all the compatibilities will be fine, so you won't encounter any problem. Okay, so here's my recommendation. If your PC is like like has a minimum requirements like 4 GB of RAM, and then it's like i3 or Pentium, so you could use 2015. Okay, since this one is a light year, that uh, doesn't need high requirements of PC. Unlike 2019 maybe some of you may encounter an error upon installing it since it might not uh, or it didn't meet the requirements or the minimum requirements or the hardware requirements of your PC or laptop. So if you have a low-end PC, you can use 2015. If you have a high-end PC or laptop, you can use as 2019, which I uploaded on our group page for you to download. Okay, so the history of Visual Basic actually it started from year 1993 or 1995, I guess. And then the next one is 2000 or 2005. And then the next one is 2008, which is this one. And then 2010. And then 2015, which is the one that the UC is using right now. And then there's a new one, which is the 2019, the one that I let you guys download. Okay, so that's the latest right now. Okay, so next one. So Visual Basic Integrated Development Environment or IDE. So as you can see right here, Visual Basic is the language that we're going to use, and then Integrated Development Environment or IDE. So for some people, we call that one or we call this one Visual Basic Community. For some, they call this one Visual Basic Integrated Development Environment, which is kind of the same. Really. So when we say Integrated Development Environment, meaning it can cater different languages. Okay, and then when we say community, it can also cater different languages like Python can run C++ or C Sharp or Java and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is like the main idea about this one IDE and then Visual Basic Community. So those two are just the same. Okay, so upon opening the IDE or the Visual Basic Community, you will see this one if you have the 2015 version. But if you have the 2019, like this one, the one that I will open right now, Studio Visual Studio. So this one is different. Okay, so do not open this one if ever that you have this application. So the one that you want to open is this one, Visual Studio 2019. Okay, so here's the startup. So instead of having this one, okay, you will have this one if you have the 2019 version. Okay, this one is for 2015, which is kind of similar. So you have here the new project, open project, and then open from source control, and so on and so forth. Wherein we also have that one here. So we have here the create a new project for the new project, and then open a local folder for opening a project, and then or you can use this one. Those two are just the same. But if you want to find a specific item in a folder, so you can do this one. And if you have already know the name, like you don't need to know the exact location, so you can use this one instead. Like for example, open a project or solution, like you just know the title, so circuit quiz 02 solution, and so on and so forth. But if you don't know the exact location or exact name, so you can use this one instead. Okay, so since we're starting in creating a project, so you have to click this one, create a new project. Okay, so in pressing that one, it will lead you here, wherein you have to choose this one, Windows Form App .Net Framework. Okay, so if you don't have that one here, so browse right here, and then choose this one, Windows Forms App .Net Framework. Okay, so make sure that it is under VB. Okay, because some are under no. Okay, that's good. Because in other cases, some are under C++ or C Sharp. Okay, so mentioned on the group page that you should only download the what is that workload again? Visual Basic, I guess, or the Windows Form language or Windows Form workload. Because if you're going to add another um, because if you're going to add another workload, so you will not, or it will not just lead you to VB language. So there might be some C++ or C Sharp or Java. Okay, so just to make sure, there must be a Viva icon here, and then the name should be Windows Forms App.NET Framework. Okay, and then just click that one and then click next. Okay, and then it will lead you to right here to the project name and then solution name. Okay, and then where you want to save your projects. Okay, so let's name this one test. All right, so not test. How about first project? First project. Okay, there you go. And then as you can see right here, we have the version of your framework, .NET Framework 4.7.2. Okay, so I highly recommend you guys to update your framework to the latest version as possible. Okay, this is like the compatibility on how your Windows will run this program. Okay, so the higher the version of the .NET framework, the better. Okay, the less error that you will encounter. Okay, and then as you can see right here, whatever is the name of my project name will be also the name of my solution name. So if I'll make this one first project 01, it will be added to your solution name, which is, you know, those two must be the same. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. And then for the location, so it is now up to you where you want to save your projects. So if you're having a hard time in searching for your projects, so I recommend you guys to save it on your desktop. So as you can see, there's no other matches on my desktop since my desktop is empty. As you can see, there's two folder, but it's actually empty. So where are we now? Okay, so in my case, I'll just save it here in my folder Kaiden and then source and then repos. So I will not change that one. So I'll change it into my default location where my program will be saved. And then just click create. Okay. So in creating a program, so just wait maybe 1 to 10 seconds depending on the speed of your computer or laptop. Alright, so it will now lead you to the interface of your or user interface of your program. So as you can see, it's blank for now. So you can resize this one. It's like the Windows mode of our program. And then right here is like the name of your program, which is the first project 01. And then format.vb. Okay, this one is actually the design or the user interface. Okay, so if I click this one, double click this one, it will show this user interface, which is the form one. As you can see right here, the title of this one is form1.vb. Okay, so let's go back here. All right, so in creating a project, so new project, and then it will lead you to this one if you're using a 2015. So they are actually kind of similar. So choose the language Visual Basic and then choose Windows Forms application. Okay, so in 2019, so they are already combined with each other. But in this one, you have to choose the language first and then the platform, okay, that you're going to use. So as you can see right here, we have Visual C Sharp, Visual C++, and then Visual F Sharp, or even SQL or JavaScript. So do not choose those languages. Okay, the language that we're going to use is Visual Basic. So aside from that, will not be accepted. Okay. and then click this one, and then name of the application, wherein in our case we've named it first project 01, and then whatever is the name of the of your project, so it must be the same with your solution name. Okay, and then also where you can browse where you want to save your project, and then click OK, and then it will lead you to this interface wherein kind of similar with this one. Okay, so this one we have a white theme. In my case, I've chosen a black theme. So I believe that upon installing your Visual Basic 2019, it will let you choose a theme. So it's like we have a pure white, and then a gray one, and then a black one, and then a combination of white and black, or white and blue, something like that. Okay, and then now here's the basic parts of the user interface or the design interface. Okay, so the first one is the menu bar, wherein we have the file. So in clicking that one, it will show you this one, wherein let's say you want to open an existing project, so you can choose this one and then choose file and then browse a project. Okay, or if you want to create a new project, or you want to create a new file, or you just simply want to open a project. Okay, or just simply want to open a folder. Okay, so take note that this one is different with open and then file. So this one will let you open a new project, but in this one it will just let you open a folder wherein let's say you want to browse an image, and then you want to copy that one and then save it to your solution, wherein of course whatever's the name of your project, it is also the name of your solution, wherein the solution is first project 01. Okay, and then what else? So you can also add, or similar with this one, add a new project or add an existing project, or let's say you just simply want to close the project or close the solution, and so on and so forth. And then here's one of the most important thing. So save all. Okay, so upon saving your project, always choose save all. Okay, do not just choose save form or the Control S. Instead, choose save all, or the shortcut is Control Shift S. Okay, so just take note that we have a form for your coding section, and then we have a form for your design or user interface section. So let me just show you the coding section. So to do that one, just double click this one. Okay, and then it will lead you to the coding section. So as you can see, it added a new tab wherein the name of that one is form1.vb. Okay, this one, form1.vb, and then form1.vb, and then design. So the one that has a design bracket, close and open bracket design, is your user interface design. The other one, which is just form1.vb, this is your coding area. Okay, so in saving, you should click save all, not just save form1.vb. Okay, because it will only save the form itself, which is this one. So you should save also whatever is on the design part of your program. Alright, so next one is are the shortcut icons. So as you can see right here, we have the undo, the redo, and then the save form, and then the save all. Okay, so again, save all. Just always choose save all to avoid having a problem. Okay, and then here's a debug button if let's say you want to test your program. Okay, so let's do that one. Okay, so let's click start. Okay, so let's wait 1 to 5 seconds. Okay, it's still loading. So as you can see right here, it's still blank since we didn't add anything to our form design. Okay, so just like this one. So of course you can resize that one, you can minimize, which is this one, you can maximize, and then you can close it by clicking this X button. Okay, and then yeah, so one more thing, let's say you want to stop the program, so you can click F5. it will stop the program. Oops, nothing happened. Wait a minute. Why my F5 is not working? Anyway, so you can click this one or this stop debugging button. So a while ago, this one is a play button. That's an indicator that you will start the program. And then if your program is already running, so this will change into a square one or a stop button wherein you want to stop your program. So just click that one. So if you want to again start or test your program, so you can click F5. Why my F5 is not working? Start. I don't know, but supposedly F5 is a shortcut button for start or stop debugging the program. Anyway, so we will try that one later on. Maybe my keyboard is not working properly or my program encountering or having a bug right now. Alright, so next one is this one is of course the form design tab, as I mentioned a while ago. And then we call this one the form or the design interface. And then we have here your toolbox. Alright, so this is the most important part of your design interface. This is where you can get a component, like for example a button. There's a button here. It didn't show in here, but we have a button here. We have what else? Some other common components. Alright, so sorry for that one. My dog. Oh, my dog. It's kinda getting paranoid. Maybe he thinks that there is a burglar. Am I right for that one? Okay, anyway, so let's continue this one. So here in the toolbox, here's where you can find all the components that you're going to use. So for example, a button, a text box, what else? A label, and so on and so forth. Actually, there's a lot of components that you'll be using. So later on, we will discuss those components one by one. And then we have here the component tray, okay, where you can freely resize the form or the design interface. And then we have here this entire part of this one. We call this one Solution Explorer. So this one contains your project. Okay, so of course the name of your project, the your user interface, the format.vb, and then the coding section. And then below of your Solution Explorer, we have here the properties window. Okay, so this is like the second most important of designing your interface. Okay, so upon putting a button, so here's where you can edit the properties of that button or of that certain component. Okay, so I will show you later on how to do or how to modify a certain components. And then below here, didn't mention here, but this one is the error message. Let's say anything that your program encountered, like for example, it is encountering an error right now. It is where the error will show the complete details or some hints wherein you can fix your program. Like for example, line 1 or button we're not able to recognize by your program since you didn't put a correct or a valid name, like for example something like that. Okay, what else? And then okay, I think so far I've mentioned everything that is very important or essential in designing a program. Okay, so let's go back here. So as you can see right here, my toolbox is missing. Okay, so to just wait a second. Alright, so sorry for that one. Okay, so to go to toolbox, it should be right here above your data source. And as you can see, my toolbox is missing. So that is one of the common problem that my student is encountering when I'm teaching this programming. So for you to show the toolbox, just click the window and then reset window layout. Okay, and then click yes, and then voila, it's like a magic. I now have my own toolbox. As you can see right here in my upper left, so we now have my toolbox. Alright, so just click that one, and then it will show you which is similar with this one. Okay, so in here we have categories actually. So let me just minimize this one. Alright, so the first thing that you want to do is drag this toolbox to the right side. Okay, you don't want, you know, your toolbox to cover your design interface. So you should put it on the right side where it is not covering your design interface. Okay, this one. Right, so the first thing that you want to open is the command controls. Okay, so from the word itself, command controls, so it contains all the common components, the one that you're going to use. Okay, like for example, a text box. We have here a text box, so this is very common. A button. What else? Button. Where is button? It's not here. Here, button. What else? A label. Of course, it's very important. A picture box. So if you want to add a picture, so you can choose this one. So just click this one, drag, and then drop it to your user interface. So simple as that. Okay, and then if you want to delete a component, so you can click this one or choose that one and then press the delete button. Okay, or I think you can just simply right click and then choose delete. Okay, if you want to copy the component, so you can also do this one, copy, and then paste it right here. Okay, or you can use the shortcut button, so Control C and then Control B. Okay, so this is like the basic. So I'm expecting that you guys already know what is the shortcut button of copy. So that is Control C, and then for pasting is Control V. Okay, so moving on. So here are the descriptions of the most common windows or most common components that we use. So, no, not components, most common windows. Sorry for that one. Okay, so toolbox. So again, this one contains the reusable controls and components that you can add to your application or to your user interface. Design window, it is a place where you draw your user interface on your forms, sometimes referred to as the designer or the user interface itself, which is this one. Okay, and then Solution Explorer. So it's on this side, wherein it contains the hierarchical view of solution, contains many projects, whereas a project contains forms, classes, modules, and components that solve a particular problem. Then lastly is the properties, wherein, let's say, a property of a button, property of a text box, or a property of any component. Okay, so this is where you can edit or modify such components. Okay, alright, so here's a sample interface of the Solution Explorer. So it is on the upper right, and then properties is on the lower bottom. Okay, right here. And then controls or objects. So this one refers to visible and non-visible objects such as buttons. Text box has labels that you can add in the form. So again, from the word itself, common controls. So this one contains all the basic components or the most used components. Okay, and let's say you're looking for a component and then you didn't know the exact category of that one. So you can always choose the all Windows forms. Okay, all Windows forms contains all of the components. Okay, so we have here the container, command controls, the menus and toolbars, the data, all of those actually. From here to general, it contains or it is in all Windows forms. Okay, this one is a complete list of your components. Alright, so next one. So here are the description of default command controls. So should I discuss this one since this one is quite straightforward? Anyway, so let me just give you a brief discussion on each of those components. So pointer selects another control or moves control around the screen. So that is the pointer, this one. Can you see my cursor right now? Oops, that may be a problem. You guys are not seeing my cursor actually. Alright, so let me just fix this one real quick. Capture cursor. There you go. Oh, sorry for that one. I forgot to show or capture my cursor too because I'm using OBS wherein uh, uh, it can hide my cursor. Okay, so sorry for that one. Okay, so where are we now? So pointer, which is like this one, the one that is highlighted in yellow. And then button, so this one response events or typically a mouse click. So as I mentioned a while ago, a button responds to being clicked. Like for example, you can program that button to exit or add a value. And checkbox, so this one responds to being checked. Like it has two value. Like if it's checked, what will your program do? If it's unchecked, what will your program also do? Okay, so it only has two value. Checklist box, so this one displays list of text items with checks besides selected items. This one's similar with checkbox, but in the form of list box. Okay, wherein you have a lot of checkboxes in here. Okay, and then of course each of those checkbox corresponds to a value. Wherein if it's unchecked, then means 0. If it's checked, means 1. So what are the things that it will do if the value is 1 and if the value is 0? Okay, just vice versa. And then text box, so this one will allow the user to input data. Okay, so as you may already know, text box this may be used for, say, where you will ask the user to input a value or input a text. Like for example, you're creating a login form. Of course, you're going to use a text box for the user to put the username and then the password. And then, of course, you just have to program that text box wherein you have to validate if that username or password match your program or match the specific username and password. Okay, and then for text boxes, so you can also add two text boxes. Like for example, you put the value on this text box 1, and then the second text box is 2, and then you have a button here wherein you program this button wherein you can add those two text boxes. Like text box 1 plus text box 2 is equal to text box 3.text. So all in all, you have 3 text boxes wherein it will give you a value of 3, and then it will be shown to your text box 3.text. Okay, and then combo box, or actually this one is similar with list box, but in a form of drop down. Okay, in other words, we call that one combo box. Okay, so you will see later on the real or the example of a combo box. And then label, so this one displays text. So take note, if it's a label, it is read only, no input. Okay, so in programming, so if you want a user to input a value or a text, so use a text box. So do not use a label, since label is just a label. Okay, so as its name implies. All right, and then we have here a list box wherein it displays list of text items. So this one is similar with text box, but it's in the form of a list box. So it displays a lot of text boxes. Okay, and then picture box. So this one is a component where you can upload or where you can display an image. Okay, and then radio button. So this one's responds to being on or off. Okay, so sir, what are the difference between radio button and then a checkbox? So a checkbox can be unchecked. Okay, so say the first value is checked, so you can uncheck it. But in a radio button, once you check this radio button, you will not be able to uncheck it anymore, unless you program it that upon clicking this one, and then it will be off, or you will be able to uncheck this radio button. Okay. And then okay, so one more thing, maybe you were wondering why put a radio button, okay, if they are the same with your checkbox. So basically, if it's checked, the radio let's say a radio button being checked and then checkbox being checked, meaning their values are 1, which is the same. And then if a checkbox is unchecked and then radio button is also unchecked, meaning their values are 0. So basically, they don't have differences. It's just that in radio button, it is mandatory. Okay, there must be always, or you should always choose one of those options in putting a radio button. Like for example, what is your sex? So it could be a male, or you could be a male or a female only. Okay, so you should, or it's a mandatory that you have to choose one of those. Okay, you like it cannot be that you're not a female and then you're not also a male. So there should be at least one of those two options. But for this one, checkbox, good example of this one is, say, what are your favorite foods? And let's say the food that you really want, or the favorite food, is not listed on the option. So in that case, just don't check those checkboxes. Okay. So again, if it's a radio button, means it's mandatory. Okay. If it's checkbox, meaning it's possible that one of those options are not really or the one that you're going to choose is not really on the list. Okay, so that is their main differences. Okay, so next one is what else? Numeric up down counter. So as you can see right here, if you click this one, it will change the value. Let's say from 1 it will go up to 2, and then if you click this one, will decrease the value. So from 2 to 1. Okay, so as its name implies, numeric up down counter. And then of course, let's say you've stopped in a value of 5. So now in that corresponding value, it will be recorded as a value of 5, and then simply it now has a value of 5, something like that. Like for example, you want to add 2 numeric up down, So just choose, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or click 5 up to show the value 5. And then the other one is, let's say, 2. So click 2 ups. And then yeah, you can add those two using a button. So this one is similar with text box, but instead of using your cursor and then highlight and then change the value using your keyboard, so you can use those up down counter, okay, to change the value. And then menu strip is a menu, okay. Like for example, this one file is already an example of menu. Okay, just to give an idea, upon clicking this one, it will lead me to another user interface. Okay, wherein I can choose open, close repository, and then if I click edit, this will again open a new menu. Okay, which is kind of similar with this one. Okay, this will just basically create menus in application. And then group box, so this one acts as a container for other controls. Okay, so this one is actually similar with panel. The only differences is if it's a group box, it has a label. Like this one, you can change the name of this one. Okay, it's like serving as a title. And then if it's a panel, then just a panel. Okay, so the benefit of having a group box or panel is, let's say, alright, let me just delete this one. So to show that one, let's say we have, or we want to add a panel. There you go. Let me just resize this one, and then I will add a button inside of that panel. So let's say we have 6 buttons. There you go. Let me just resize this one. Okay, so as you can see, instead of me moving these 6 buttons like this, highlighting the 6 buttons and then move them together, I can just move them with the use of a panel. Alright, which is also similar with the group box. Okay, it's just that it has a label on it. So if you're going to use a group box, so here's how a group box look like. So same with this one, it acts like a container. Just arrange this one. Yeah, so you can also move whatever is inside of this group box or of this container. Okay, it's just that it has a name on it, wherein you can of course edit that one. So just go to the properties and then look for text and then say those buttons are named as a title of group of buttons. Well, of course, this is just a name, so you can put any name that you want. So in this case, this one is a group of buttons, and so on and so forth. So similar with your panel, but just doesn't have a name or a title. Alright, so next one is web browser. So you can also put an icon or a component web browser wherein it will connect you to the internet browser. Okay, so this one is similar with Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox and any other browser. Okay, and then here are the other controls or objects. So I will not discuss those components anymore, since we might not be able to use those other components or other objects anymore. Okay, so yeah. So if maybe you're really pursuing doing a programming, so that's the time that you can study those other components. But for now, you can just focus on those default command controls or common components, those things, pointer up to the web browser. Okay, and then here's a description of properties. So again, I've already mentioned the description and then what is the user property, so I will not discuss this one anymore. So we have a note here, press F4 to display the properties window. Okay, so maybe this will only happen if you accidentally close your properties. So if you accidentally close your properties, you can always click F4 and then it will go back, or it will bring back your properties. Okay. Next one is setting the properties. So this one is very crucial. Okay. So in setting a certain properties of a component, so you have to click the object to view object properties window. Meaning you have to click that component first, or you have to highlight that component that you want to change a certain property. Okay, like for example, you want to change the property of your button. So first you have to click that one. So as you can see right here, I'm under the property of panel one, this one. So as you can see right here, this one is highlighted. Now, if I want to change the name or a certain property of this button, so you have to click this one first. So click that one, and then it will now lead you to this one. So here's an indicator that you are now changing the property of that certain component. Like for example, this one, button one. So let's say from button one to could be a good name. Say press me. There I go. So there you go. So I've just changed the property of this button from button one to press me. Okay. And then let's say you want to put a back color. So just search for or look for back color. So again, highlight that one and then click that down scroll icon, and then you can choose to system or web or custom. So in my case, I'll go to custom since this one's like the most complete options when it comes to colors. So let's say you want light blue or turquoise blue. They're really good when it comes to color. But anyway, it's just aqua. So this one is color aqua. Okay. And so on and so forth. So there's a lot of property that you can change or you can modify with that certain component. So component of a panel, so there's a lot. So in that case, I will let you guys explore that one, because if I will explain all of the individual components of that component, so yeah, so it will just make this presentation super long. Like instead of having a presentation of 2 hours or 3 hours only, maybe it will reach us to 10 hours. So I will leave the others for you to explore the other components. Okay, so yeah, so you can scroll down to locate the property that you want to change, just like what we did. So you can use your scroll bar of your mouse, or you can use your cursor, and then modify the property and press the enter key to accept the change. Okay, so you can choose you can change the font, the color, the back, or you can put a background image, you can change the back color, and so on and so forth. So there's actually a lot. Okay, and then in saving a project, so as I've mentioned a while ago, on the file menu, select save all. Always choose save all. Okay, do not just control S, or do not just choose save form. Okay, always choose save all. Okay, 100% this will not give you a problem. Okay, because if you're just going to use save form, so yeah, you're saving your form but you're not saving your design part. Okay, so that is already a problem. Right, so it says here always save your project in Drive C, so you don't need to do this one anymore since we are not in school. So supposedly, if we are in UZ, so you have to save your work in Drive C because that is where I check your work. But since we are in ODL or online distance learning, so you can save it wherever you want. What important is you know where you've saved your work so that uh, once you're going to submit your program, you know where you can find it and then uh, search for it and then you upload it to our canvas. Alright, so let me just have a break. 1 minute. I'll just drink water. Ah, so it's already 50 minutes and we are still in page 17 or slide 17. Anyway, it's normal since before we can finish this one, last sem, we accumulated 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, 8 hours before we can finish or before we were able to finish this entire module or the first module of finals. Anyway, I'll make this quick as possible. Okay, so designing the user interface. So don't mind this one, 2005. So what we're going to use right now is 2019. So this one is super outdated. So just a disclaimer, this one is not my notes. So this is actually the note of certain Dingen. So I just borrowed it from him and then yeah, use this one also for uh, the presentation since I don't have the time anymore to remodify since this one is in a PDF, so I cannot edit this one. Anyway, so as I mentioned a while ago, they are just the same 2015 and then 2019 and then 2005. So those three are still quite the same. Quite the same. So there might be some added features, but not that big. Right, so use to build the interface for your application. So here's your form object, okay, so or your form interface. So we have already discussed this one a lot, so no need to explain this one anymore. And then we have here a note wherein you can arrange the properties in ascending order. So let's see if we have that one here. No, we don't have. Yeah, we don't have that one here. But this one, all Windows forms. Yeah, this one. Oops. Oh, this one is not in component. So this one is in properties. So my bad. That one. Sorry. There you go. So we do have A to Z. Okay. So this will arrange the name from, of course, A to Z in alphabetical order. So this will make, uh, say, easier in searching a certain property. Like for example, you want to change the name. So this one is ready. Why is it not working? Nothing's happening. Alphabetical. Yeah. Really sure why. I don't know. Maybe my 2019 or my Visual Basic 2019 having having a bug right now. Not sure. Supposedly this will work. So this will just arrange just like this from A to B to C D E F and so on and so forth up to the letter B. Okay, so that's the job of this alphabetical icon wherein it will arrange the names of your properties in alphabetical order. So again, this one is to make for you to easily find a certain property. Alright, and then properties of form objects. So changing the name of the form. So I don't really recommend in changing the name of the form right now since a lot of my students before encountered a lot of problem or encountered a certain problem in changing the name of the form. So why is that? Because let me just show it to you. So the name of this one is first project 01. Okay, and the name of that one, okay, let me just click this one, is form 1. Okay, so some of my students change this one into first project 01. Okay, and then as you can see right here, the name of my form now is first project 01. But in here, I have a name of form1.vb, and then the name of my public class is already first project 01. Okay, so in some cases, the name of my coding area, which is form1.vb, should be the same with this one, public class form1. Okay, so this one should name also form1. So why is that? Because your project or my project will look for this certain form or this certain class, wherein the name of this one is form1.vb. Okay, so it's like, it's like having a conflict. So because it should be whatever's the name of my project or whatever's the name of my uh, coding area, it should be also the name of my class. Okay, so yeah, that's the problem that we've encountered before. So I don't recommend in changing the name of the uh, form. Okay, so that's one reason. So for some reason, or in some cases, they didn't encounter an error, but my other students, upon changing this one, the name of my or the name of your program, they've encountered an error. So for the sake of not having or for safer programming, so just bring this one to its default name, which is form1. Okay, so whatever is the name of your coding area should be the same with this one. So form1.vb and then public class form1. Okay, so that's the conflict between those two. All right. So yeah, I don't recommend renaming unless you are already an expert. Next one is properties of form object. So this one, it's okay. Okay, this one is just a title. So take note, name of your form is like the address. Okay, so in here you are you are trying to program this class, which is the form1, and in here this is just a name actually. So by default, the name of that one is form1. So sorry for that one. It changed. I don't know how does the name of this form or this design change into letter P. Anyway, so let me just change this one to my first program. Okay, let me just put space. My first program. Okay, there you go. So now the name of the title of my program is my first program instead of having a default name of form1. Okay, so in here, change the format into machine problem. Okay, so to change the title of this one, so just look for the property text. Okay, and then put here the name that you want to put. Okay, all right, so next one is properties of form object. So again, if you want to change the back color, So you can always find the property back color, and then click this one, and then change that one into yellow. Okay, so let's do that one. Okay, so click the form one first, and then look for the back color. So click this one, and then click the arrow down button, and then choose yellow. Yeah, there you go. Let me choose a lighter yellow. Yeah, there you go. Better. That yellow is kinda uh, sore to an eye. Okay, next one is background image. So this one, you just have to click the background image, and then okay, so let's do that one. Okay, click this form or this design interface, and then locate the background image, then click this one, triple dot, and then I will go to local resource. So as you can see right here, we have two options. So if you chose project resource file, meaning you're searching under here on this part. So let me just give you an example of that one. So you can either add a picture. Okay, let me add this one, digital blue. Oops, cancel. And then paste it right here. So now I have the image digital globe here. Okay, so let's go back to that one. Background image, triple that. Why is it? I think you have to import it manually with the use of this import button. Okay, so let me import this on Autumn. Okay, and then click OK. Alright, there you go. So in that case, it created a folder resources. Okay, and then it will be saved to your Solution Explorer. Now, if you don't want to save an image to your Solution Explorer, since it will only consume a memory, so you can instead just go back to the background image layout, or background image rather, sorry. Click that one, and then choose local resource, and then click import, and let's say I'll choose this one, Nipa hat, right, this one, summer, and then click OK. So as you can see right here, it didn't save the image on my folder or on my program. Okay, so that's the advantage of choosing a local resource. So it will just change the background image without saving the image on my resources. Okay, so yeah, if you want to save an image, then you can instead choose project resource file. So just click import, and then choose a certain picture, and then yeah, it will basically upload it to your resources, and then it will change the background image of your form design. Okay, and then as you can see, supposedly it should look something like this, but in our program didn't show the or it didn't fit our design interface. Okay, so to fit your image into your design interface, so you just look for background image layout. Yeah, so by default it's in tile, so just click the arrow down. So we have 5 options, so you can choose none, tile, which is what is shown right here right now, and then we have center. Okay, and then we have stretch, so this is what you want to click. Okay, there you go. So in that case, it will fit on our user interface. So whatever is the size of your user interface, then it will fit your user interface or design interface. Okay, so let me just remove this one. There you go. And then remove this one also. Alright. Okay, so next one is properties of form object. Okay, so first one is normal, and then second one is maximize, and then third one is minimize. So those three are actually quite straightforward. When you say normal, it is this one right now. Okay, I'll just debug my program. This is the normal window form. Okay, it is not in a maximum form. It is not in a minimize form. Okay, it is in a normal window layout, which is this one. It is in state of normal. Okay, and then the second one is maximize. So if I change the Windows state into maximize, this will just simply, okay, let me just show that one to you. So click this one user interface and then look for the property window state, and then by default it's in normal. So click the arrow down button and then change it to maximize. Right, so let's start it again. And then as you can see, in debugging the program or in starting the program, it will give you a full screen or a maximize screen or user interface. Okay, if you want to minimize it by default, like upon clicking this one start button, choose minimize. Okay, let's start this one. Now it is in a minimize form. So as you can see right here, it is this one. There you go. Okay, so you have three states wherein the first one is normal one, like this. Second one is maximize. Third one is the minimize. So by default, upon starting the program, it will initially minimize the program or the user interface. Okay, so let me just close this one. Second is the start position. So we have here the Windows default and then center screen. Okay, so Windows default is this one. Oops. Yeah, this one. So as you can see, it is not on the center. Okay, so this is default location upon starting the program. So to make it more presentable, so you want to launch it or upon opening it should be on the center. So just look for what is that property start position. Okay, start position. There you go, start position. So by default, it is in Windows default location. So change that one into center screen. So click start. Then just wait 3 seconds. Oh, let me just put this one into normal. Okay, start. Yeah, there you go. So it is now showing on the center of my screen. Okay, so that's now the start position of this user interface. Next one is minimize box or maximize box. So I'm gonna say minimize box, meaning it is this one. If we say maximize box, it is this one. Now if you've set it to true, meaning you can minimize or maximize it. If you've set it to false, meaning you cannot maximize or you cannot minimize it. Okay, so let's try that one out. Minimize, letter M. There you go. Minimize box. So of course by default it is set true since we can minimize or maximize it. So let's set it to false. The same with the maximize. Let's set it to false. So as you can see, the minimize button and then the maximize button now has gone. Okay, meaning you're not allowing the user to minimize or maximize your program. Okay, so as you can see right here, it is now in the center, but you can still resize it. Okay, And I think there is an option, there is a property for that one, wherein we will not allow the user to resize the user interface. Auto size. It's not it. Resize. Location, maximize, opacity, show icon. Size. Hmm. Auto size. Is it auto size? Auto size mode. Okay, let me just try this one. Auto size. True. No, you can still resize it. Where's that one? There's a property where you cannot resize background image, auto size, auto scroll. Where is that one? Use with cursor transparency key, topmost, tag, minimize, maximize, main menu, key preview, enabled. Auto scroll, auto size. It's not it. Auto size mode for only. I cannot find it. Well, anyway, so maybe in the future I will be able to show to you and how not the user will be able to resize the Windows form or this user interface or the Windows form rather. All right, so next one is adding a text box to the form. So locate the text box tool. So you have two ways. So double click the icon or you can draw a text box on the form. Okay, and then now a text box will be added to your form. Okay, so again, just drag and drop. So let me just remove the background since this one is super distracting. Let me clear that one. There you go. And then let me add a text box. So my tip is in looking for a component. So just type T. Say T for text box. Oops. Text box. There you go. So drag and then drop. Okay. And then of course you can resize it horizontally, but you can resize it vertically. So for you to be able to resize it vertically, so just click this one mini play button and then highlight or check the multi-line. So in that way, it will let you resize the text box freely. Okay, so I now have a very big text box. Alright, so it says here we should add 3 text boxes. Alright. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, and at the same time, I will also change the font size of this one. Since, okay, let me just show it to you. Since the text is super small. So what I want is whatever is the size of my text box, it should correspond to the size of my input. So to do that one, go to the font. So again, highlight the component text box for you to be able to modify or update the property of that one. So look for the font and then click that one. So as you can see, it now has a font of 8.25. So just click the triple dot and then go to size, and then say 30. I think that's already big. Let me see. Yeah, it's very good. So it's now readable. So what I will do is, so here's just a tip. So this one, the size of this one is still 8.25, but this one's already 30. Okay, so to save time, instead of editing the property of those two text boxes, so I will just copy and paste this one. So copy, paste, and then paste. So in that way, I now have same properties with this text box. Okay, so yeah, being wise. Alright, so next one is adding a label to your form. So same process, just look for the label on this one. So click L. Yeah, there you go. We now have a label, a very small label. So in my case, again, I will just change the font size of that label. So look for the property of that label and then change the size into 30. Awesome. There you go. And then I'll just copy that one and then paste and then paste another one. So now we have 3 text boxes and then 3 labels. Okay. Next one is design the following user interface. Now, so as things right here, we have 1, 2, 3. So 3 labels and then 1, 2, 3. And then 3 text boxes and then 1 button. And then okay, sorry for that one. And then we have here a title of my first programming experience. Okay, so let's make it like that as possible. Okay, aside from the background, since I think I don't have that picture. Okay. All right, so it says here input a number, input another number, and then the result. Okay, so for this one first. So click this one, and then change the property name. Text, sorry. Text, so from label 1 to input a number. Second one, so let me just arrange this one. Second one is just input another number. Okay. The third one is result. Alright, there you go. Let's see what else. So in here, as you can see, we have a default value of 35.5, 50.75, and then 76.25. So we will not give or we will not put a default value anymore. Okay, so we will leave it blank. So I will be the one who will set what is the first value of this input number and then what is the value of the second text box. Okay, so the one that we're missing is a button. So B, there you go. We have a very small button. So you can resize it, but the text or the font size is still small. So change again the font size of that one, 30. It's good. So yeah, button. So just make it a little bit more bigger. Now you have the full name of the button one. So in here we have here the name of add instead of button one. Okay, so again, click that button and then go or scroll where the property text. So change the button one into add. There you go. So I now have an add button. Okay, so let me change this one a little bit more. Maybe a back color. Yeah, it's good. Back color of a yellow. I think I'll change it into green instead. There you go. I now have a button of add button with a background color or with a back color of add. So you also, yeah, you can also add the background image if you want, but in my case, I will not do it. Just a back color. Okay. So yeah, we are done. We are done already aside from the background image. And then the title. Okay, so actually we can change the title. My first programming experience. So click your user interface. My first programming interface. Yeah, there you go. It's good. And then center screen, Sparky top moves. Okay, okay. Back color, auto size, name. Okay, so we are now all good. Next one is VB coding, or it's now time to program those. Uh, Actually, it's now time to program this button. Okay, you'll only program one button. So we will do that one later on. Okay. So first, we have to discuss one program code. So it refers to a set of instructions written by the programmer that directs the program to carry out the processing required in the program. Okay. So again, this program code refers to the coding area, which I mentioned a while ago, which is this one. And then event handler, so it handles the event that user action triggers by executing the code that performs the required processing. Like for example, a button responds to being click or double click, or mouse down or move. Okay, so that is one example of event handler. Okay, so double click the button and add the following codes. So as you can see right here, it says here double click the add button. Okay, so just double click this one and then it will lead you to our coding area. So before, let me just show you the default one. Actually, the default one is this one. So we have the, let me just make this one a little bit more bigger. So the first one is the public class form one, and then it will end to end class. So as you may have noticed, we have here the like that means this is the starting point, this is where it ends. Okay, and then we have here the private sub form one load, and then the end sub, and then same we have the line. This is an indicator that in this function private sub form one, it will end on this end sub. Okay, so starting class, end class, starting sub, end sub. Okay, so your class form contains this function, and then this function contains nothing. Okay, since we didn't put anything on that program. So actually you can remove that one since we will not be needing that one. Okay, what we need is this button. So you have to program, or we have to program this add button. So again, double click that add button, and then it will give you a function private sub button one click. Okay, so this is a function wherein if you click this button one, it will execute whatever is inside of this function. Okay, so as you can see right here, doesn't have anything since, of course, we are the ones going to put a program inside of that button. So later on, I will show to you how to do that one. Okay, so again, we have here the function, and then the end, or the indicator that it's the ending, okay, of that function. And then inside of that function, we have here the code. Okay, so let's analyze this one. So he uses a dim, and then variable a. So take note, this one is capital variable a, comma, and then capital variable b as integer. So meaning you are declaring a variable a and then variable b as an integer. So when we say integer, whole number, okay, it will not accept decimal. Okay, so as you can see right here, we have here 25.5 plus 50.75. You will get, is this correct? You should get 75.70. 25, yeah. 76.25. So I think this one is incorrect. okay, based from this code, since this one should not accept decimal. So this one should only display 75, since it says here uh, this variable a, or this text box and then text box 2 are only integers. Okay, so in doing that one, a plus b should have a result of 75, not 76.25. So we will see later on if this one is correct or no. Anyway, so after declaring a variable, so now set those two variables into equivalent text boxes. So a is equal to text box 1.text, which is this one, and then b is equal to text box 2.text. So just do take note that text box 1.text equal a is not the same with a is equal to text box 1.text. So why is that? Because whatever is on the right side, this one, text box 1.text, whatever is the value of this one will be passed to the variable left side, which is the letter a. So in this case, we have a value of 25.5. Okay, so text box 1.text has a value of 25.5. If it will now be passed to your letter a. And then the value of text box 2.text is 50.75, and then it will be passed to your variable b. And then it will be computed here. So text box 3.text is equal to a plus b. Again, the logic is from right to left. Whatever is on the right side will be passed to the variable left side, or call this one component left side. Okay. So in here we have a value of a is 25.5 coming from text box 1. B is 50.75 coming from text box 2. Okay, so whatever is the output of this one, or the result of this one, will now be passed to your text box 3.text, which is this one. Now, to verify whether this one is a text box 1 or text box 2 or text box 3, so just go to your program. Okay, so click that one and then look for the name. So this one is my text box 1, this one is my text box 2, and then the last one is my text box 3. Because in some cases, you can also do this one. So you can swap those two. Now, text box 1 plus text box 3 is equal to text box 2. Okay, or vice versa actually. Like text box 2.text is equal to text box 1.text plus text box 3.text. Okay, but for the sake of having an easier representation, so this one is my text box 1, text box 2, and then text box 3.text. Alright, so as you can see right here, we've just passed the value of this text box to this variable. Okay, and then get the sum of those two text box, and then it will pass to your result text box, which is this one. Okay, so let's do that one. So again, double click this button, and then the first thing that you need to do is declare. So dim. So dim is a way for you to declare a variable. So a, comma, and then b as integer. Okay, so as you can see right here, you can actually type small letter I, and then there's a recommendation capital letter I. Okay, so just choose that one. Okay, click enter or click space, so it will change the small letter I into capital letter I. So it's like it has call this one, it's actually kinda intelligent, because it doesn't have a function small letter I or small letter integer. What we only have is a capital letter I, or the first one should be capital and then the rest are small letter. So this is the correct format. Okay, next one is we will assign now, or we will pass the value of this text box into this certain variable. So A is equal to text box 1 dot text, and then B is equal to text box 2 dot text. Okay, and then lastly is the computation. So we will display it to our text box 3 dot text is equal to A plus B. Okay, whatever is the value of text box 1 will go to the variable A. Whatever is the value of text box 2 will go to variable B. And then it will be computed, and then it will be shown to our text box 3 dot text. Okay, so let's try this one. So just click the start button. Okay, so let's copy that one. 25.5, 75.25. Okay, yeah. Using 75. Okay, and then add. Yeah. So this one is 50, I guess. Yeah, 50. So there you go. We have a value of 77. So it's not the same with 76.25. So as you can see right here, 25.5 plus 50.75 is 76.25. Are we correct? 25.5, 50.75. But it was rounded off. Okay. Which is not accurate anymore. Okay. If you want to get the exact answer, which is 76.25, so instead of using integer, where is that one? Okay, let me just stop this one first. So this is one thing that you need to do first. So let's say you want to edit your coding area, say like that one. You have to close your program first. Okay, this is very important. So close your program first before editing or before adding or editing anything. Okay, so in my case, so we want to get the exact answer. So instead of using integer wherein it will only accept whole number, so I will use single. This is another data type wherein single accepts a decimal. Okay, so let's try this one. So 25.5 plus 75, is it always 75? 50.75. Okay, so we should get 76.25. There you go. Okay, so the exact value is now displayed, okay, with the accepted decimal value. Okay, so I really am so sorry for this one. So I think Sir Dion changed this one into single instead of integer, because if it's in integer, so it should display here 77, not 76.25. Okay. Alright, so next one is revise the user interface into something like this. Okay, so we only have plus. Okay, so now we have to add minus, multiplication, and then division. Okay, so let's do that one. Actually, the minus and then multiplication and division is already in here. So this is the code for the subtraction and minus. This is the code for the multiplication. Okay, and then this is the code for the division. Okay, so let's do that one. So I'll make it real quick. Close this one first. Let's go back to this one. So let's add 3 more buttons. There you go. Button 1, button 2, 3, 4. Here you go. So the second one is subtract. Or we can just use the shorter version of multiplication. And then the last one is division. Okay, so let me just use that one. All right, so we have already call this one program the add button. Now we have to program the subtract button. Okay, so double click the subtract button, and then it will give you another function. So this is the function for addition, and then this is another function for subtract. Okay, so let me just copy this one to make it more bigger. So same, we have two uh, variables, and then same, we will just pass the text box 1 to A, text box 2 to letter B, and then instead of having a plus there, just change that to minus. Okay, so let me just save that one again. Choose always save all. Start. Let's try this one. So 5 minus 3 should be 2. Yeah. And then 5 plus 3 is 8. Okay, so simple as that. The next one is multiplication. So let me just copy this one again and then paste it right here and then change that subtraction into multiplication. So the symbol for multiplication is asterisk. Okay, so to get the asterisk, just look for the shift button and then click the number 8, sorry. Okay, and then the last one is division. So double click that one and then it will give you a function or another function for that button. Okay, so just copy that one and then paste it right here and then change that multiplication into division. Okay, now let's say you put here 8. So as you can see right here, it will give you a squiggly red on that 8, meaning it didn't detect, meaning that there's an error on that 8. Okay, there's no such keyword or special function 8. Okay, so that's an indicator that you have an error, okay, or that you have a problem with your code. Okay, so what if you try to start that application? So yeah, it will still work for some reason, but the last one, which is a button 4, will not work properly. Okay, so 5 divided by 5 should be 1, and then as you can see right here, I'm clicking the division, but it's not displaying anything since this function is not working anymore. Okay, so add is working, of course. 10, 0, 25. Oops, why is my 5 times 5 is not working? Let me check it. So button 4 is division, button 3 is multiplication. Yeah, this one is division. Let me check. Okay, 5 plus 5, 10, 0 times 25. Yeah, it's not working properly. Okay, 50, 55, 45, 250, and then 10. Yeah. Okay. So that's how you create a simple calculator with the use of two values, two text box, and then we now have a plus, minus, subtraction, minus, multiplication, and then division. All right. So moving on. So help and correcting errors. So as you can see right here, we have IntelliSense, meaning encoding your program. VB provides real-time help so that you will be less prone to make error. Okay, just like this one, we have say A or S, A as B. So end of statement expected. So it has an IntelliSense wherein if you click this one, it will show you the error list. Okay, wherein just that one. So some errors are displayed like this, wherein it has a code BC3 30205, meaning or description of that one is end of statement expected. So this one is asking for a good end of statement. since you didn't end it properly, wherein you put S, but S is, it's like nothing. You didn't uh, uh, program or set a value of S. Okay, so you have to change that one, then change it to division. Okay, to avoid having an error. So yeah, that's an indicator or squiggly red color. That's an indicator that there's an error on that particular uh, letter or particular line to be exact. Alright, so again, it has a build error message wherein VB compiler detects a coding error in the program. This one is the error message. It's like the whatever's on the code right here before, and then the description is end of statement needed. Alright, so running or executing your program. So as I've mentioned a while ago, the shortcut for starting or debugging your program is F5, but for some reason, let's try. It is now working. Before, my F5 is not working. So if you want to start your program, so you can just simply press F5 and then click. It's not working anymore. Anyway, if you want to start your program, you can click F5, and then if you want to stop your program, so you can choose here or click the X button or the square red button in here, the shortcut icon. Okay, so let me just bring back the maximize size to true, and then minimize box. Oops. Minimize box to true again. Okay, so now we have the same old minimize and then maximize button. Okay, so we have here exercise number 1. So design the screenshot as shown. So include codes for standard room, deluxe room, and then exit window. So as you can see right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 components. So 1 label, a picture box, and then 3 buttons. Okay. So supposedly I will give this one to you as your first exercise, but I will not give this one anymore as your first exercise since we lack or we don't have enough time anymore. Instead, I will just show to you how this one's being done. Okay, anyway, it already has the sample codes or the following code of this program. Actually, we have 3 buttons, right? So just program those 3 buttons. First one, second, and then the third one. Okay, so for the first button, we have here private sub function, and then it ends right here. Okay, and then we have picture box 1 that image. Again, whatever is on the right side will go to the left side. Okay, so if you click the standard room, this will just basically change the picture into a standard room. If you click the deluxe room, this will just simply change the image into a deluxe room. Okay, so from here, our button 1 is maybe this one, standard room. Let me see. Yeah, standard room. Okay, so as you can see right here, we have a new function, image.fromFile. Okay, so that function, it is now enclosed with open or close and open parentheses, wherein inside of that one we have a double quotation and then the location of that image. So we have local disk X, folder icon, and then the name of that image, and then the extension or the type of that image, which is that JPEG. So for some cases, or in some cases, this one is that JPG or that PNG or even that GIF. Okay, so same with your button 2. So yeah, local disk X, folder icon, and then the name of that image or that picture, the Luxroom.jpg. Okay. And then for the last one, it's exit window. So it's just me that close actually. So this one is the very first program or the very first uh, function that you may memorize. So if you want to close the application or program, so you can program a certain button, let's say exit or exit window or close window. So just put there me that close and then close an parenthesis. Okay, so let's do that one. Actually, I already have yeah. Instead of having a NIPA hat, no, I'm sorry. Instead of having standard room, I've changed it into a NIPA hat, and then we've remain we've retained the deluxe room. So don't mind the other pictures. So we have here deluxe and then NIPA hat. Because for some, some cases, deluxe room and then standard room are still quite the same. Okay, so let me just erase this one. So I recommend you guys that create this program. Yeah, this one. Create this one. Then you can name it any name that you want. You're not going to submit it, but just create it. For reference. The same with this one. Create this program and then you can name it exercise 1. But then again, you're not going to submit it since we are creating it right now. Okay, we're doing it right now. And then just for reference, okay, or just for your additional examples, because practice makes perfect. Okay, so let's do the exercise number 1 again. So we have NIPA hat and then deluxe. So let me just erase everything. Okay, so we need a label. Super small, so let me change the font size to 30. And then we have image picture box. Picture box. So I will just resize this one. And then 3 button. There we go. So let me just change this one to size 30. Then resize it. So the first button is, let's say, NIPA hat. NIPA hat. And then the second button is deluxe room. And then the last one is exit. Okay, so let me just resize this one. There you go. It's not proportional. Anyway, it's good. So first we program the NIPA hat. So we have, so as you can see, we now have a lot of errors since it is looking for the text box 1, text box 2, and then the text box 3. So it says here under the error message, text box 1 is not declared, may be inaccessible due to its protection level, blah blah blah. Okay, so yeah, that's how Visual Basic helped the programmer. So he is saying that he cannot find those text boxes since we've deleted those text boxes. Okay, so let's just delete those functions. Okay, so now we have 3 new functions. So first one, this is one. Okay, so picture box 1. Okay, just to be sure, check this one. See? So the name of this picture box is picture box 2. Okay, if I put here picture box 1 dot image, I think I will get an error. Oops, let's see later on. So for now, let's say it's picture box 1. We have picture box in here, I think. Yeah, there's none. Okay, and then image dot, so this is now the function wherein it will let us, oh, why is it from string, from file, image dot from file, and then do not forget the double quotation. This one is not having an error. Why? This one is picture box 2. Do we have another picture box aside from that one? Anyway, let's see. Okay, so the first one is the drive or the location of that NIPA hat. So there you go. That's the image of my NIPA hat. So just click or right click and then go to the properties. And then here's the location. So what you want to do is highlight that one and then copy or Control C and then just leave it like that since we'll be needing the name later on. And then paste it right here so it's under my drive C, folder users, and then folder Ryzen 5, and then folder pictures. And then just add here another slash or another backslash and then the name. Okay, copy that one and then paste. And then that, what is the file type? It is JPG or that JPG, like this one. So I'll just type here JPG. Okay, so let me just save this one and then start. Alright, so there you go. As you can see, it is not showing the picture in here since this picture box is picture box 2. Okay, so you have to very careful when it comes to naming or the address of your components. So the name of this one is picture box 2, not picture box 1. So let's change this one into picture box to that image. So click start again and then NIPA hat. So there you go. And then now we have a problem since it's in a tile format. So we have to change that one into stretch image or stretch layout. So just click the picture box and then you will see a small play button again. So just click that one and then change the size mode into stretch image. Okay, and save that one. And then F5, then NIPA hat. There you go. So we now have a NIPA hat. Okay, if I click the Lux room, so nothing will happen since we didn't program this one yet. Same with your exit. And then we forget to change the label. What is the name? Hotel room selection. This one is hotel room selection. There you go. So second one is the second button. Okay, to make it quick, I'll copy this one. So same picture box 2. We will display it to your picture box 2. Then we will get it from here. So same location, just a different name. Okay, which is deluxe. And then yeah, same file extension, which is also that JPG. Okay. So instead of NIPA hat, so deluxe, deluxe.jpg. Save, and then let's try this one out. So NIPA hat, deluxe room, NIPA hat, deluxe room. Okay, looking good. And then last one is the exit. Okay, so again, the program of exit is me dot close and then close and upper parenthesis. Okay, let's try this one. NIPA hat, deluxe room, NIPA hat, deluxe room, then exit. Okay, So you now have your first exercise. Okay. So the only one that you have to worry is the location of that image, and then the name of that image, and then extension. Okay. So I hope you were able to understand your first exercise. Okay. This will just simply uh, retrieve the location of that picture and then will be displayed to your picture box. Alright, so next one is just a sample user interface. Okay, so uh, do this one also. Okay, just for you to have an experience. There's an indicator here that those are your text boxes. Those are labels. This one is a date time picker, a group box. So as I mentioned a while ago, group box means it's mandatory. Okay, wherein you cannot uncheck this one. Okay, you must be a male or just a female. Okay, it cannot be that you're not a male and then you're not a female at the same time. So there's no such thing unless you are an alien. Okay, and then your civil status. So again, if it's a radio button, it's mandatory. So are you a single, married, widower, separated, complicated, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then we have here a list box. Okay, so here's the list of your subjects enrolled. This is just an example. So you can change this one into your current enrolled subjects. So you can you put here the first sub and then the second sub. And then two buttons wherein we have greetings and then terminate program. Okay, so the only one that you're going to program in here is a terminate program. Okay, so you don't need to program the greetings anymore. So just leave it as it is. So just a terminate program. Okay, and then what else? So put here your real name also. Your your real. Well, not necessary actually. Just put here any address and then any mobile number, and then in here in combo box, so there should be an option. So instead of choose course, what is your course? So change this one into what is your course. Then upon clicking this one, so there should be an option BS Civil Engineering, BS Computer Engineering, BS Electronics Communication Engineering, and so on and so forth. So you can add where the minimum is 5 at least. Okay, and then for birthday, so leave it as it is, daytime picker, but you can set it to your birthday, but not necessary. Okay, just for you to know how to edit or how to modify a certain components. Okay. All right. Oh, next one is VB programming elements. So under elements, we have first one is variable. So this one refers to a memory cell. Memory cell or storage area in the computer's memory that is used to store data. Okay, and then under variable we have two types. We have the numeric data type and then string data type. Okay, so when we say numeric data type, so those are data that are classified as numbers. So under numeric data types, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, or 9, and 10 data types under numeric. So the first one is single. So again, we have already used this one a while ago. So single is a type wherein it accepts decimal. The same with double. It's just that a double can accept a larger size of numbers. The same with decimal. This one has more larger size of value of numbers. Okay, and then for integer, so this is the only one that doesn't accept decimal. Okay, so this one will only accept whole number. And then long, this one is like the I would say the largest, okay, value when it comes to numeric or number. Okay, and then of course we also have the date, and then boolean having a value of 0 and 1 only, and then other universal numeric data type. Okay, the next one is string data type. So when we say string, this one is consists of letters and other characters. So some available data types are string and then character or char or card. Okay, so later on, I will discuss what are the differences between those two. So those are very simple. It's just the vice versa of each other. Okay, first one is the numeric data types. So we have here the single, and then the prefix of that one is S and G. So this one has a range of value of 1.4 e raised to negative 45 to 3.4 e raised to positive 38, and negative 3.4 e 38 to negative 1.4 e raised to negative 45. So as I can see right here, we have the positive value and then the negative value. Okay, so the number of bytes of this one is 4. Okay, so double is just basically the double, times 2 of that single. So from 4 to 8 bytes. So basically just double this one, this range, and then the output or the result of that one is this one. So we now have a larger or longer size of value. So 1.797691 blah 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 raised to 308 to positive 308. Okay, and then the prefix of that one is TBL. And then for decimal, this one is the double of the double. So from 8 to 16. So it can accept up to 28 significant digits. Okay, so basically 3 differences are sizes only. All of those accepts decimals. It's just that the sizes of them vary. So for single, it has a number of bytes of 4. Double is 8, and then 16 is decimal. Okay, so if you know already that the result will be like quite large, so you can use double or decimal. And if you think that the result will be always less than 1,000 or less than 100,000, so you can always use a single. Okay, then if you want to accept or if you want that result will show a decimal, then you can use single or double. So it's up to you. But anyway, those are quite large already. I think 1.4 e raised to negative 45 is already quite large. So yeah. Next one is integer. So this one again is just a whole number, so it will not accept decimal. So the prefix of this one is int. So this one is ranging from negative 2 billion to positive 2 billion. So integer is 4 bytes also. So oops, my bad. So long will not also accept decimal. Same with short. Okay, so the only data type that will accept decimal is single, double, and then decimal. Okay, and then if it's whole number, then that should be for the integer, long, and then short. Okay, short is same with single, long is the same with like decimal, and then integer is the same with a double. Okay, so if you think that it is only ranging less than 32 negative 32,000 to positive 32,000, then you can use short. But just to be safe, you can just always use integer instead of short. Okay, so if you think that the range or the result is only ranging from 1 to 1,000, then why not? But if it's ranging from 0 to millions or negative 1 million to positive 1 million, then you can always use integer. And then if it's now what is this? So hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, quadrillion, and then quintillion. Now, so if the result is ranging from negative 9 quintillion to positive 9 quintillion, then you can use long. Okay, and for date, of course, yeah, it's ranging from January 1, year 001, up to December 31, 9999. Okay, and then it has 8 bytes. And then for Boolean, as you can see, we only have 2 bytes since this one only has 2 values, which is true and then false. Okay, and then here's the other data types. And then strings and characters. So the first one is string data type. So this one holds multiple characters. So the default value of string is nothing or a null reference. So just take note that null is not the same as empty strings like this one. Okay, so if you put the value, which is something like this, means it's just empty. It has a value, it's just that it's empty. If you didn't put any value, means it's null. Okay, for example, so dim st as string, so st is equal to the quick brown fox. So the value of this one or of this st variable is the quick brown fox. Again, whatever is on the right side will be passed to the left side. Okay, so of course you have to declare this variable st as a string. Okay, for this st variable to accept a string or a character. Okay, and then char data type is holds a single character. So that is actually the main differences of those two, string and then char. So if it's string, it will accept a sentence or even a paragraph. But if it's a char, it will only accept a single character. So the default value of that one is 0, and then append the literal type character to a single character string literal to identify it as a char data type. Okay, so we have an example here. Option strict on, so dim chtr as char or character. So the command attempts to convert a string to char. Because option strict is on, it generates a compiler error. So for example, we have here a value a, wherein it will go to our variable chtr. So this statement succeeds, for it specifies a char literal. Like, yeah, it only has one character. Okay, and then this one, a and then c, this one will also succeed. Okay, but it will only accept this one. So this one will be disregarded. Okay, so yeah, you can do something like this, but it will not read this one anymore. Instead, it will only read the letter A. Okay. Right, next one is variable. How to name a variable. So combination of the letters A through Z, the digits from 0 to 9, and then the underscore. So you can use any letter from A to Z, capital letter A to Z, and then digital number from 0 to 9. Now, if you want to include a space on your variable, do not. Okay, there's no such thing as space. So instead, use underscore. Okay, like for example, okay, let me put it here. So dim name, let's say name this as string. Now, as you can see right here, let's say I want to put a space. Okay, I will get an error. Okay, so now there's an error on the list since I've included or I put here a space. So again, do not put a space. Instead, put an underscore. Okay, so do not include a space. So if you want to input a space, just use underscore instead. Okay, so let me just erase this one. And then as you can see right here, we have a squiggly uh, green color. So it's just an indicator or just a warning actually. So as you can see right here, this one is a warning. This one is not an error. It is warning you, yeah, like this one, warning you that you have unused local variable name and list, name list. Sorry. Okay. So to remove that warning, so you can just delete that one or you can just ignore that one actually. It will not affect your program. Your program will still work perfectly. Okay, so where are we now? So always start with a letter. Okay, do not start with a number. Okay, uh, it's not recommended. You might get an error. And then not case sensitive. This one is actually sensitive. Okay, so take note that just do this one. This capital name list unused law. Yeah. Why are we cleared in the current block? It's already declared. Name list. Name list is already declared. So if you have exact the same name and then uh, it is not. How about, okay, let me just clarify this one. Letter A and then A. AB. AB. Yeah. Alright, so my bad. Because for some reason, supposedly small letter A is not the same with capital letter A. The same with your small letter B should not be the same with capital letter B. So we now have an error since it says here AB is already declared in the current block, which is this one. Okay, so it is not case sensitive, but avoid doing that one. You have a capital letter A and then small letter A. Okay, so those two are just the same when it comes to variables. Alright, so variables should not be restricted keywords in VB. And then keywords are words that VB uses as part of its languages. Okay, so we have here keywords wherein you cannot use as a variable, like for example sub, private, public, and so on and so forth. So there's actually a lot. Okay, so do not use those words as a variable since those are special keywords. Okay, wherein it is being used as part of the VB language. Okay. And then for you to know that it is a keyword, it is actually color blue. Yeah, like this one. So its color is blue, meaning it is a special keyword. Okay, and then declaring a variable. So this is just an example. Dim variable name and then as what data type. So for example, this one declare a variable called my name as a string type. So my name as a string. That's it. And then number 2, declare income tax variable as decimal. So dim income tax as decimal. Okay, so let's answer this one using, maybe not, just use this. Oops. Let us use this one instead. Okay, so again, let me just erase this one. Okay, close that one. Erase that one. And then let's just have one. Again, I've lost my toolbox. So another way for you to bring back your toolbox is click view and then to create the toolbox. So there's a shortcut here, Control Alt X. Yeah. So now I have my toolbox, or Control Alt X. There you go. You now have your toolbox again. So let's just put a button, and then let's program this one, and then let's declare, or let's answer those examples. So it says here, declare a variable called my name as a string. So dim my name as string. Okay. Number 2, declare income tax variable as decimal. Dim income tax as decimal. So supposedly this will be your like activity if this one is a face-to-face setup, but since this one is or you guys cannot submit it via 1/4 paper, so I'll just answer this one instead. Okay, so number 3 is declare the two variables in just one variable declaration. Okay, so it is now asking us to declare those two variables, my name and then income tax, in just one variable declaration. Alright, so let me just erase this one. Dim my name as string, and then income tax as decimal. There you go. So now I've declared two variables in one, or in single declaration. Okay, my name as a string, and then income tax as a decimal. Number 4, so declare score 1 and score 2 as short. So dim score 1, score 2 as short. So I'm declaring score 1 and score 2 as short. Declare raw score as long initialized to 0. So dim raw score as long. So it says here initialize it to 0. So just simply equal it to 0. So meaning the initial value of your raw score now is 0. Declare my bd as date type. So dim my bd as date type. Date. There you go. Assignment statement. So consists of variable name followed by the assignment operator, equal sign, and then followed by the some sort of expression. So this one is just another example in assigning a statement. Okay, so for example, we've declared st as a string, x as integer, s as single, d as double. So st is now accepting string since you've declared it as a string. Okay, so take note when declaring a string or setting a value of string, you have to enclose it into a double quotation. Okay, if it's a number, okay, if it's a numeric data type, you don't need to enclose it into a double quotation. Okay, so what will happen if you enclose it into a double quotation and then it is under integer or numeric data type? So this one will become a string. It's not number 5 anymore. It's now just a character 5. Okay, and then s is of course single, so it will accept decimal. D is also a decimal but a larger value, 3.1415. Yeah, it's a pi value. Okay, another assignment examples. So whatever is the value of your price plus tax will go to your amount due. And then welcome to view programming is a string wherein it will be displayed to your text box one.text. Confirm is equal to true. So this is actually a value wherein, let's say you declared this variable confirm as a boolean. Okay, so again, if it's a boolean, it has two values, which is 0 or 1, or the true or false. Okay, and then energy is equal to mass times light speed raised to 2, or light speed squared. So whatever is the value of light speed and then value of mass will be computed and then will be displayed to your variable energy. Same with this one, and then the date. Okay, so here's one way for you to put a date. So you should enclose it on a number sign. Okay, and then here's the month, the day, and then the year. Okay, so comment statement. So form of internal documentation that is used to explain part of a program. Okay, so in adding a comment, it's just a documentation, or maybe you want to remind yourself that this is the part where you can add those two values. This is the part of multiplication. This is the part where you can retrieve this data and blah 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 and so on and so forth. Okay, so comments are displayed in green on the screen to distinguish them from executable codes. Okay, so once that line is now a comment, means he is not part of executable code anymore. It's just a text. Okay, so let's try to make this one a comment. So we have two ways. So you can use rem or this one, single quote. So I will use single quote. There you go. So this line now is a comment. Save this one, comment, and then say use rem, which is also the same as a way for us to make this line, or you can make that line as a comment. Okay, so here are the examples. So you can also do something like this. So let's do something like that. So we have here the declaration of my birthday as date, and then say we want to put a comment right here. So this is the part when I declare my birthday. There you go. So this is the executable code. This one now is just a comment. And then VB built-in function. So we have today, now, cin, and then cstring. Okay, so let's make this real quick. Today returns the system date on your computer. Okay, so from the word today, whatever is the date of your computer, like mine here is 12:10 a.m. So it's already morning. So 12:10 a.m. September 29, it will retrieve that one. Okay, and then it will be displayed to your date time picker. And then if it's now, this will only this is the complete. Actually, this is the most complete function when it comes to retrieving a system date and time. So if you only want to display the date, like the right now is September 29, use the function today. If you want to get the time and the date at the same time, you can use the now. Okay, like for example, we have here a variable bte current date. So this will display the current date. Okay, so today, September 29, and then say date. This will display the current date and then the current time. Okay, so this will display September 29, 2020, and then the time is 12:11 a.m. Okay, and then cin and then cstring. So C here is, or meaning it will convert. Okay, so this will convert string to an integer. Okay, so whatever is inside of this close and open parenthesis will be converted into integer. the same with this one. It's the vice versa of scene. So from integer to string. So whatever is inside of this one will be converted into string. Okay. So for single, you can use C, S, and G, BOOL for Boolean, and then CDEC for decimal, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it's very straightforward wherein you can or you will convert this text or value into integer, or this text or value into string, or single, or boolean, and so on and so forth. So it's up to you. Okay, so the usage of this one is, let's say you want to make this number into a character, and then yeah, you can use string. Or if you want to convert this character number, say character 5, into a value 5, so you can use cint. And then that notation are used for, so we have control property and then control method. So for control property, so those are the that text, what else, that button, okay, like okay, let me just give you a quick example. So button 1, text box 1. Okay, let me just put here a text box 1. Oops, where is my toolbox? So let's reset the window layout. I have here my toolbox, text box. There you go. Text box 1, the text is equal to let's have a string. Okay, so that text here after the dot, it's now the property. So that text, meaning it's an indicator that this text box, so this name, this text box 1, is a property that text. Okay, now what if it's a control method? Okay, that method. Okay, so some methods are same with function, like text box 1 that enabled. So this is a method now we're in. Let's say if you click button 1, but click just that one, text box 1 that enabled button, oops, sorry, or text box 1 that clear. Okay, just that enabled. That enabled. Let's make it that clear. There you go. Why is that enabled not working? Anyway, so this one now, that clear, is now a method wherein if you click the button 1, it will clear the text box. Okay, so let's say okay, let's try this one. Okay, so my text box has a value of kwe, and then if I click the button 1, this will clear the button. There you go. So this one now is under the method that clear. Okay, so that is the example of, or the differences between a property and then a method. So if it's a property, meaning yeah, it's a property under the text or a button or what else, or a date time picker. And then for control method, gives you the capability to control or modify or remove word or edit that certain component. Okay, so for the control property, so So we have here text box one dot text. So this one is a property. That text is a property. That check is a property. That enabled is also a property. I'm sorry. That's why this one is not working before, since this one is a property that enabled. Okay, that text is a property. That check is a property. And then for where are the examples of method? Anyway, so properties of label. So here are the call this one sample picture of the label. So I will not discuss this one anymore. So I will let you guys explore this one. Same with the properties of text box, properties of button, properties of checkbox, and radio button. And then for the control method, here you go. So we have here that focus and then that clear, the one that we've used a while ago. Okay, so when we say control method, again, this defines the actions that the control can carry out. Okay, for a function that it can do. Like for example, that focus. So it places the cursor position to the text box. Okay, so this will simply put your cursor into that certain component. Okay, and then that clear just simply clear the content of that text box. Okay, let's now move on to VB operators. So Visual Basic operators, symbol representing operation that can be performed on constant and variables. So we have three operators or operation. So we have the arithmetic, relational, and then logical. Okay, so first one is arithmetic. So as you can see right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 arithmetics. So you are already familiar with grouping. So when you say grouping, you're prioritizing, or you're going to solve that part first before the others. So A plus B first, and then C plus D first, and then you divide whatever is the value of this one and this one. Okay, so that is grouping. And then for exponentiation, so you can use this one. Okay, like arrow. What do you call that one again? I forgot. Anyway, this one is a symbol for exponentiation or exponent. And then for negation, so this one is similar with subtraction, negative sign. Okay, for multiplication, so again, use asterisk. And then for division, it's slash. And then for integer division, it is backslash. Okay, and then for mod, so just simply mod or mod. Okay, and then for addition, so it's of course plus, and then subtraction is minus. Now, I already know, or you guys already know, okay, what is multiplication, division, negation, and exponentiation, and so on and so forth, other than integer division mod. Okay, so later on, I'll give you example what is integer division and then mod. Okay, but for now, let's have this example. Okay, C is equal to 25 integer division 7. So what could be the result? So if it's 25 divided by 7, so you will get, if it's a normal mathematics, 25 division 7, you will get 3.57. Okay, but what about if it's 25 integer division? Okay, so I'll give you guys 10 seconds to think. Okay, so time is up. No, okay. So when we say integer division, so from the word itself, integer division, you are only getting the whole number, integer. Okay, so 25 integer division 7, the correct answer that one is 3 only. Okay, so if it's normal division, so the complete exact answer is 3.57 and so on and so forth. It's quite long. Okay, but if it's integer division, the answer only is 3. Okay, and then for mod, C25 mod 7. Okay, so again, I'll give you guys 10 seconds. So what is the result of C is equal to 25 mod 7? What is the value of C? Or what is the result of 25 mod 7? Alright, so the correct answer on this one is 4. Okay, so from the word itself, remainder of division, you're only getting the remainder. Okay, so 7, 14, 21. So you cannot proceed to 28 since it's up to 25 only. So the remaining remainder is 4. Okay, to make it 25. Okay, so that's 3 differences. So division is the normal way of doing the math. And then integer division, you're only getting the whole number, the result of whole number. And then when see mod, you're only getting the remainder. Okay. Okay, so another examples. So you can do this one, of course, as like what we did on the very first example. Whatever is the value of this variable, and then this variable will be computed and then will be displayed to your variable take home. Same with this one, it's just that it's multiplication, and then with the use of exponentiation, and then this one now is with the use of integer division. Okay, and then using mod, remainder of division, which is the mod 1, and then using mod, and then using integer division. So we cannot solve those ones or those numbers since we don't know the value of those variables. Okay, so let's have an exercise. So 3 plus 4 times 6. Alright, so I will not solve everything. So I will leave those number for you to verify. Okay, so just do take note that use PEMDAS. Okay, use PEMDAS. Okay, because that's how our BB compute a certain number. Okay, so let's solve this one. Okay, oops, yeah, this one. This one is using integer division. So this one first, 20 minus 2 is 18, and then 6 plus 3 is 9. So integer division, so 18 integer division 9, we're only getting the whole number. So the result of this one is 2. But how about number 9? 50 integer division 20. Okay, what is the result of this one? So again, integer division, we're only getting the whole number. So 50 integer division 20 is 2. Okay, so we will discard the remainder. Then 10 plus 3 mod 4. So mod will only get, or we are only getting the remainder. So 10 plus 3 is 13 mod 4. So 4, 8, 12. Okay, so we have a remainder 1. Okay, so the answer on number 10 is 1. Okay, and then the rest I'll let you guys compute those numbers on your own since those are super easy. Next one is relational operators. So I think you guys are already familiar with this one. So this one is like for grade 5, grade 6, or even grade 4, I think. Started in greater than or less than. So this is a symbol of greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and then equal to. And then here's a symbol of not equal to. So we cannot write the equal sign and then with a slash on the middle since we don't have that kind of symbol on the Visual Basic. So instead of having or using that one, use this one instead. So we have the less than, greater than. So this is the symbol for not equal. Okay, so let's have an exercise. So again, yeah, I will leave everything 1 to 7 for you to verify. Okay, now just always apply PEMDAS and then you will get the correct sequence. Okay, so maybe this one you cannot apply PEMDAS, but anyway, it is not case sensitive again. So small letter y is equal to capital letter y, okay, which is true. Okay, if those are variables. Next one is logical operators. We have not, and then and then or. Okay, so this one is super straightforward. Not is logical not, and then and is logical and then or is logical or. Okay, so let's have an exercise. So write the relational expressions for the following statements. Okay, so let's use a notepad like this one. Okay, so I will only I will only answer 1 to 5, then I will leave 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Okay, and then you may consult me anytime to say you want me to verify your answer in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The same with those numbers, and then same with this one. Okay, just message me and then give me your answers, and then I will check whether your answers are correct or no. Alright, so let's answer the first one. So variable g does not exceed 20. Of course, the first thing that you need to do is declare the variable g, and then let's say we are already done in declaring the variable g. Now we're going to declare it or write it in using relational expressions. So g does not exceed 20. So g should be less than 20. Okay. Oops. Yeah, that's correct. G is less than 20. And then let me just put number 1 here. Number 2 is variable ave is more than 80. Ave is greater than 80. Simple as that. Okay. And then number 3 is variable speed is from 50 to 75. Okay. So you can have this one, 50 to 75, and then in the middle is ave. So variable speed is from 50 to 75. Should be greater than 50. Variable speed is from 50. Greater than 49, which is 50. And then less than 76. Yeah, there you go. So your ave is above 49, which is 50. And then speed. And ave is less than 76, which is 75. Now this one is ranging from 50 to 75. Number 4 is variable temp must be divisible by 3. Okay, so in here you can use what? So temp, so you can use integer division 3. Okay, now if the value of temp is 3 and above, then that one is divisible by 3. But if the value of temp is 2, then that's a time that it is not divisible by 3 anymore. Okay, so the only time that temp is not divisible by 3 is if the value of temp is 2, 1, and then 0. Above 3 is now divisible by 3. And then number 5, variable weight is no less than 60.5. So weight should be no less than 60.5. should be greater than 60.5. Okay, there you go. And then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I will leave those numbers to you guys. Okay, so exercise number 1. The total resistance of a series circuit is the sum of all individual resistance values. So write a program that allows the user to input for 2 resistor values using text boxes, compute and display the total resistance of a circuit. So this one is super easy. Why? We have already made this one a while ago, the very first program. Okay, input R1 and then input R2. So as you may have remembered, the very first project that we created in this module is input a number and then input another number. And then the middle button is add. Okay, and then the third one is the result, and then the third text box. So in here, series circuit. So if it's in series, all you have to do is add those two values. Okay, like R1 plus R2. Okay, so I will skip this one since we have already finished this one, or we have already created the very project of this one. It's just that it has a picture, like it has the voltage and then the R1 and then the R2. There you go. So we have already a solution. So I will leave this one as your own experiment. So same, instead of R1, instead of letter A, we have R1. Instead of letter B, we have R2. And whatever is the value of text box 1 will go to R1. Whatever is the value of text box 2 will go to R2. And then just get the addition of R1 plus R2, and then it will be displayed to your text box 3.text, and then that's it. Then exercise number 2. So write a VB program that computes total current in a series circuit consisting of 3 resistors and a voltage source. So the relationship for the total current is IT. So I is actually your current, and the T is for total. So total current is equal to total voltage divided by R1 plus R2 plus R3. Or in other words, the R total. Okay. And then, we have here the description of each variables, wherein IT is the total current in amps, and VT is a voltage source in volts, and then R1, R2, R3 are the individual value of each resistor. So it says here, allow the user to input for the values of the 3 resistors and the voltage source. My dog again. Our dog is barking. I don't know, maybe he is sensing a burglar again. Alright, so let's no need actually, since we already have here the solution. Okay, so we only have one button, wherein meaning that's the only component that you're going to, or that we are going to program. So just double click that one, and then it will give you a function sub button 1, and then declare 1, 2, 3, 4 variables. Okay, 1 for your resistor, 3 for your resistors, and then another one for your total voltage. So as you may know, the formula of Ohm's law is I is equal to V divided by R. Okay, so in here we are getting the total current, wherein I is equal to V divided by R. Okay, so just use that one. And then, as you can see right here, we are the one who's going to input the value of R1, R2, R3, and then the total voltage. So we have 4 inputs: the resistor 1, resistor 2, resistor 3, and then the total voltage, or the input voltage. Okay, so once you have the total voltage and then the 3 resistors, you now have the total voltage and then the total resistance. So what is the total resistance? Just add those 3 resistors, R1 plus R2 plus R3, and then just use this formula. So Vt divided by R1 plus R2 plus R3, and then voila, you now have the total current in your text box5.txt. Exercise number 3 is revise problem number 2 to include computations for voltage drop of each resistor. Okay, so you're not going to revise it actually. Instead, you're just going to add uh, the voltage drop of each resistor. Okay, so for you to get the voltage drop across resistor 1, so you can use this formula: total current times the R1. For VR2, total current times R2, total current times R3. Okay, so yeah, it's very straightforward, and whatever's the sum of VR1, VR2, VR3 should be equal to your total voltage. Okay, so instead of having this one only, just add here the computation for VR1, VR2, VR3, and then their corresponding values with the use of this formula. Okay, there you go. So yeah, you already have the solution. Okay, so just add three text boxes, 6, 7, 8, and then ITR1, ITR2, and then ITR3. Yeah. Okay, and then seat break number 1. Alright, so there you go. Finally, we have reached this part. So seat break number 1 and seat break number 2 will be your very first quiz on this module. So you have, alright, so you don't need to do this one anymore. Yeah, just those two. Seat break number 1 and seat break number 2 will be your very first quiz. Okay, so given the circuit shown below, develop a VB program that allows the user to input values for resistor R, which is this one, resistor R, inductor L, inductor L. Okay, take note, this one, there's a correction in this one. This one is not conductor. Change this one into inductor. Okay, if I see or if I saw in your program or in your label that this one is still conductor, there will be a deduction on your score already. Okay, so make sure to change this conductor into inductor. And then the third one is frequency, frequency F, this one, frequency, and the voltage source, VS, voltage source. Okay, thereafter it will compute and display the voltage drop across the resistor VR and then the inductor VL. Okay, so you have 4 inputs and then 2 outputs. Okay, so use those 4 formulas for you to get the value of resistor and then conductor. Okay, again, whatever is on the right side will go to the left side. Okay, so that's on one hint that I can give to you. Okay, and then for you to check whether you get the same, or for you to check if the value or the result of your quiz is correct, so you can copy those values. So 25, 45, 5, and then 120. And then you should get those the same values, 0.00 and so on and so forth, and then 0.08 and so on and so forth for the conductor. Okay, if you've got a different answer, then there's something wrong with your program. Okay, maybe you wasn't able to follow the formula correctly. And then for seat break number 2, so this one is super easy. So the area of an ellipse is given by the formula area is equal to pi times A times B. So the circumference of an ellipse is given by the formula circumference is equal to pi times the square root of 4 times A plus B squared. Okay, so write a program to calculate and display the area and the circumference of an ellipse. by allowing the user to input for the minor A and then the minor B. Okay, so in here you have two outputs, which is the area and then circumference, and then allowing the user to input two inputs, the minor A and then the major B axis. Okay, so note, use math.pi for the pi value for this one. Okay, so do not use the 3.14 one. Do not use that one. Okay, instead use math.pi. Then for the square root, you can use math.sqrt. Okay, then for exponent, for exponentiation, you can use this one. Just remember, the name of this one is caret. Yeah, I hope I'm correct. Yeah, it's caret. Then assignment. So yeah, I will not give this one as your assignment anymore. Just answer those two. Seat work number 1 and seat work number 2. So those two will serve as your first and second quiz of this module. Okay. So in this one, this is just for you to compute the total resistance of a parallel circuit. So yeah, just follow this formula and then you will get the total resistance, and then same formula with your current. So IT is equal to VT time divided by RT. Okay, and then we have here the arithmetic shorthand version, wherein if you say x plus equal to 1, meaning you're incrementing the value of x by 1. Okay, x is equal to x plus 1. For subtraction, so x minus is equal to 1, meaning you are decrementing the value of x by 1, negative 1, yeah. So incrementing, decrementing. And then multiplication means you're multiplying the value of x by 1 in every loop. For division, of course, use division. Okay, meaning you're dividing the value of x in every loop. Okay, so those arithmetic shorthand are very helpful if you have a loop statement wherein you want to increment the value of x every loop. So plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, or negative 1, negative 1, or multiplied by 1, multiplied by 1, and division, divide, 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 and so on and so forth. Okay, and then if we have a variable, we also have a constant variable. So it is a variable defined at design time, meaning it contains one permanent, so take note, one permanent value throughout the execution of the program. So the syntax for that one is const. So instead of using dim, use const. And then the same, what is a variable name, what is the variable type, and then what is the constant or the permanent value of that variable. Okay, like for example, we have here variable pival as double, declared as double, wherein the permanent value of this one is 3.14157. It's the value of the pi. And then for our right, its value is 0.07. And then for r is 0.07. And then for yr, variable yr is 12. Okay, so those are permanent values or constant values of those certain or specific variables. Okay, and then concatenation operator. So this one combines string variables and constants. Use this one, ampersand or and symbol or the plus symbol. Okay, so this one is very straightforward. You have let's say a text box, namely sample.txt is equal to hook this plus to this, meaning this is string and then the string will be concatenated with each other. Okay, so for you to see what is the result of this one, a text box. Okay, no need. We just put it on the button. text box 1 the text, so that let me just remove this one, so that if I click this button, it will get the string hook this and then to this, and then will be concatenated with each other, and then will be displayed to our text box 1 text. Okay, so let's see. Okay, wait, so let me just change the font size of this one. It's super small. Let me make it 30. Size it. Button 1. Okay, let's name this one combine. Combine. There you go. Alright. So if I click the button combine, it will get the variable hook this and then to this. So as you can see, it basically or it literally combine those two. Now, of course, without a space. So if you want to have a space, so you can always, make a trick wherein you can put here a space. So let's start again. There you go. So now we have a space from this to 2. Okay, I just trick it. I put a space right here after the word this. Okay, or you can use the and symbol. Okay, those two are just the same. There you go. Okay, so you can use either the plus or the and symbol. So time the text is equal to current time, so this is just text, and then and format now, and then hours, and then minutes. So in here you're getting the hours and then minutes of your current system time. Okay, and then dim first a string wherein it contains a value of Jose, then dim last a string wherein this variable last contains a value of result. Okay, so you can use message box. So this is a new function or new to you guys. So this is not like a text box anymore. It's like a warning box. Okay. Let me just get this one. There you go. Alright, so if I click the combine button, so there should be like a message here wherein it will get the value of this one, Jose, and then the result. There you go. It's in the middle. Sorry for that one. Okay, so as you can see right here, we have here the value of Jose and then result. So if you may have noticed, it already has a space in the middle, since there is a double quotation here and then a space on the middle. Okay. So again, it's just a trick. Okay, a trick for you to have a space. And then result. Okay, and then format function. So it controls the form of numeric value or date in the output. So the syntax of this one is format, variable or expression, and then the format. Okay, so you actually have a lot of function or format function. So I will show to you later on what are those sample function or sample format. For now, here's the syntax. So take note, it should start at format and then close an open parenthesis, and then the variable name, and then what is the format that you're going to use in that variable name. Okay, Okay, so we now have the list of format expressions. So we have the currency, fixed, number, percent, scientific, date, and then time. So for currency, so you can use abbreviation C or the complete word currency. Okay, so from the word, so currency or C. So this will display a number with dollar sign. Okay, so of course that depends on the uh, call this one the version of your Visual Basic. So if your version or the version of your Visual Basic is in America, so you will get a currency of dollar. But since we are here in the Philippines, so I think we are going to get a symbol of peso sign, or if not, it's PHP. Okay, and then this will automatically uh, have an operate a thousand separator. Okay, it will. What do you mean by thousand separator? Let's say it already reached the 1,000, so one a separator, comma, and then 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, and then it will round. Did I mention 30? Anyway, but yeah, it should be 30 only since it's 1,000, and it will round up to 10th digit. Okay, and then for fix, you can use a small letter F or a capital letter F. So this will display number with two decimal places only. Okay, so in here, if you want to get two decimals only, you can format it by using small letter F or capital letter F. And say now here, if you want to get three decimals or four decimals, you can always use N3 or N4. Now if it's two decimal, you can just use F or N2. But if you want to get 3 and above decimal, count of decimals, so you can use this one, the number of decimals that you're going to get. Okay, and then for percent, you can use small letter P or capital letter P. So this will display number in percentage. Okay, and then scientific, so you can use letter or small letter E or capital letter E. Okay, so this one is used for standard rotation. And for date, so you can have this format or abbreviation. So the first one is the month, the date, and then the year. Okay, so yeah, this will just basically display the month first, and then the date, and then the year. Then for time, so you can use this format: hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, and then this dt here is the, forget the name. It's the AM and PM. Yeah, so this one is uh, an indicator wherein you have to put here AM or PM format. Okay, so here are the examples. So format expression. So all of them start with the word format, format. And then uh, inside of the uh, parentheses, we have here the value and then the format expression that you will uh, apply. So we have here the value 781,284.57, and then we put here 0, meaning you're going to round to whole number without separators between thousands. Okay, so as you can see, it dropped the decimal. And then 781,234.57, 0.0. So here's an indicator that you're only getting the one decimal of this value, and then it will also round to this, round to one decimal place without separator. So as you can see right here, it rounds off this one, so from 5 it became 6. 781,234.6. So rounds to one decimal place, and then the next one is 0.00. So this will round off this one. So first it will get two decimals, which is 1, then it will round off the last one. So 6 So it's roundable. So from 7 will become 8. So 7, 8 to 1, 2, 3, 4, that 58. And then next one is format. 781,234, that 5.76. And then this hashtag here is an indicator, or number sign rather, is an indicator that you have to separate this one by thousands, and then 0.00 here, meaning you're only getting, okay, or you're getting two decimals, and then it will round up the last one. So yeah, 57, and then check if it's roundable. So yeah, this will become 58 with a separator. So 781,234.50 with a separator, since we've included this format. Okay, number sign, comma, number sign, number sign. Then last one is same with this one. It's just that it has a dollar sign. Okay, you've just included a dollar sign. Okay, if it's PHP, then just put the PHP. Okay, so I hope that you were able to understand this one. Another example is with the use of percentage. Okay, so we have here a variable tax with a value of 0.6775, and then a text box, namely taxes.text, which is this one, and then it formatted this tax wherein this value tax is 0.6775. Then it used the word percent. Okay, so this will just basically multiply it to 100. So from 0.67.75 multiplied by 100, then you will get 67.75%. Okay, and then second one is amount 12345.65, amount due at text. So this is just, those are just text boxes. It's just that they have different names. Okay, oops, why are they having colors? They get highlighted. Yeah, I don't know. Is this a bug? Yeah, it became yellow. Now everything became yellow. Anyway, so last one. Oops, this one. Amount due the text is equal to format amount C. So again, C is for currency. So since we are here in the Philippines, whatever is the value of this one, it's just that before that there will be a currency sign. So the currency sign here in the Philippines is PHP. So PHP 12,345.65. Okay, and one more thing, it has a separator. Okay, I think I've used, or I've clicked this one highlight text. Well, anyway, okay, last one is registration. The text is equal to format today. So again, today you will get the month, date, and then year only. Okay, so here's the format. So month first, and then the date, and then the year. So yeah, 5/27/2015. So other examples. So all of those are actually the same. The same. It's just that when it comes to format, this one has only 2M, triple M, quadruple M, and so on and so forth. So first, when you say 2M, you're getting the number, okay, of that month. Okay, so this one is 12. So you're getting the number, so it will display 12 here. Then if you put here format 3M, meaning you're getting the first three letters of that month. So if it's December, then it will only get DEC, or DEC. Okay, then if it's January, then JAN, and so on and so forth. And then if it's a complete December, then you have to put 4M. Okay, then it will display the complete name of that month, which is 12 is of course December. Okay, and then here's a complete format. So 3M will get the 3 or the first 3 letter, D is the date, and then 4Ys is the year. Okay. Another example is 4M is of course the complete name of the month. So you can do this one. So you can remove, or you can not include the date. So you can just put there the month and then the year. So another one is displaying the hours, minutes, and then if it's AM or PM. So in here, the hours first, which is 9, and then the minutes is 37, so 9:37 PM. And then the last one is the most complete one. So we have the month, so if it's 2M, this is a number, okay? 12, the date, 25, and then the year is 2016, and the hours is 9:37 PM. Okay, and then VB functions. So in here, just an additional function actually. So math.abs, okay, this will return the absolute value of a number. Okay, so I hope that you guys already know what is the meaning of absolute value. Okay, so I'm saying absolute from negative will become positive. If it's positive, then it will remain positive. So in here, from negative to positive, from positive to positive, still positive, from negative, positive. Okay, and then sqrt is another function wherein, yeah, square it. So you have already used this one with your quiz, so I hope that you already understand or already know what is the function math.sqrt. Okay, so just an example, we have here a variable val, hypo, a, b as single. Then math.sqrt 25, so this will simply return 5. So what is the square root of 25? Of course, it's 5. Okay, and then for the formula of hypotenuse, so you can use this one. So of course, for hypotenuse, you need a squared or square root of a squared plus b squared. Okay, so to do the one, you need to use this function math.sqrt, and then the value inside. Okay, so exercise number 4. So allow the user to input for the base and height of the right triangle and find and display the hypotenuse. This one is actually super easy. So yeah, you have 2 inputs and then 1 output. Okay, so here's the formula. Okay, so just declare 2 variables for the base and then the height, and then the formula hypotenuse is equal to math.sqrt a squared plus b squared, which is 5. So height plus height squared of those 2, then you will get this one. So I encourage you guys to do this one on your own. So you should try this one. Okay, I'll write it. Yeah, I get it that it's already in here, that it's already done, but it's still different experiencing it with a success. Okay, because the others are just simply copying it but still encountering an error. Okay, so it is still the best if it is already in there, yes, and then they created it and then it's working. So that's why I encourage you guys to redo everything, all of the programs that we've created, that all of them should be working properly, even though there's already the solution in here. Okay, so next one is a VB math functions. Of course, when it comes to sine, we also have that one. Okay, we have math.sine for sine, math.cos for cosine, math.tan for tangent. Okay, so this Mat that sign, by default, it is in radian. Okay, so this will return the sign of an angle in radian. So angle must be converted to radian. So for example, you have here the angle, variable angle as integer, then as well as single, and then angle is 30, so that's the default value in degrees, so it needs conversion. So meaning this one is still in radian, so you have to convert that one into degrees. If you're using your calculator, so yeah, by default it is in degrees, but in our computer, in Visual Basic, by default it is in radian. So that's why you have to convert that one first for you to get the degree. Okay, so yeah, so here's the conversion. So asphalt is equal to mat.sin angle times mat.pi divided by 180. Okay, so inside of this radian, here's how the conversion works. So whatever is the angle in the form of radian, so you have to multiply that one to mat.pi divided by 180. So in that way, you will get this value or this radian into degree, which is 0.5. Okay, same with cosine and then tangent. All of those are in a form of radian. That is why you have to convert all of those. So how to convert those radian? You just multiply that angle to mat.pi divided by 180. The same with tangent. Mat.pi divided by 180. Okay. Okay. So exercise number 5. So allow the user to input angle in degrees, and then write a VB program that finds all the trigonometric functions of the given angle. Okay. So this exercise number 5 is also super easy since the solution is already here. But before that one, okay, so uh, it is asking the user to input an angle, wherein, of course, this angle is in the form of a radian. Okay, so here's how the conversion works. So sine 30 is mat.pi divided by 180 is equal to 0.5. Mat.pi divided by 180 is 0.8660, and so on and so forth. Okay, so whatever is the value of this one should change this one. Okay, so if you put here 45, so the value of this one should be also 45. So sine 45, cosine 45, and then tangent 45. So how do you do that one? Just like this. So first one, you have to declare angle for this one, and then Sn for sine, CSN for cosine, tangent or TANG for tangent, C-tang for tangent, and so on and so forth. Second and then cosecant as decimal. Okay? Or you can use single since those are just small values. Okay, so whatever is the value of text box 1, this one, text box 1 will go to the variable angle. And then here's the conversion, or here's how you convert everything. So sine is equal to mat.sin angle times mat.pi 180. Okay, so all of those will be multiplied to mat.pi divided by 180. Okay, and then I think all of you have already finished your trigonometry. So for you to get the value of cotangent, so just get the inverse of it, or 1 divided by tangent. For secant, of course, 1 divided by cosine. For cosecant is 1 divided by sine. Okay, and then what else? Label 3 the text for up to label 8. Yeah, so label 3 is this one, sine, up to label 8. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 6 values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Label 3 to label 8. So the first one is sign. And then it puts or includes here a space. And then the variable angle. Okay, so take note this one is a variable. So whatever is the value of text box 1 will go to variable angle. That is why if you change this one into 45, then it will also change this one into 45 since you put here the variable angle. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's how you change the value of those 30. Okay, and then one more thing is, it formatted those text boxes. So as you can see right here, all of those are only displaying 4 decimals. So from text box 2, so this is your text box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from text box 2 to 7, you formatted those into 4 decimals. Okay, so you can use N4 for that one. Okay, and that's it. So I hope that you were able to understand this one. Alright, so yeah, that's it. Okay, so let me just drink some water. So I've been talking for 3 hours and 26 minutes. Not bad. Okay, so we are almost done actually. So instead of having or meeting this one for 8 hours, 2 meetings. So I think we can finish this one in 4 hours. Alright, so VB math functions. So we have the math.pow. So this one is same with the caret. I'm correct, caret. Okay, but this is a longer method. Okay, so this will return the result of a base raised to a power. So here's the format. So the base first and then the power. Okay, so for example, we have here dim val as single, and then variable val is equal to math.pow 2 and then power 8. Meaning this one is 2 raised to 8. This will return a value of 256. Or can be written as 2 caret 8. So if you want a different way of call this one, you want a different way of putting an exponent, so you can use this one, math.pow. But if you're a lazy person like me, so you can always use a caret. This one is more simple and more faster and more easier to understand. Okay, so those two are just the same. Okay, so here are the other math functions. So we have math.acos, asin, atan, and so on and so forth. So there's actually a lot. You even have here the xv for exponential, log 10 for logarithmic, and then matlog for log, mean for minimum, and then max for maximum, and then round for rounding off, and so on and so forth. So there's actually a lot of other functions that did not or wasn't included in here. Okay, so let's have another exercise. So revise exercise number 4 problem. So what is your exercise number 4? So 1. Alright, the right triangle application. So revise exercise number 4 problem and then find and display the hypotenuse and the angle of the right triangle. Okay, so we have here the base and then the height, and then just an additional angle or degrees. So for you to get this angle, so what is the formula for this one? There you go. So here's the additional formula. So for you to get the angle, so mat.a sine times h, which is the height, divided by the hypotenuse, which is this one, times 180 divided by mat.pi. So it's like the reverse. Okay, h divided by height, and then multiply that one to 180 divided by mat.pi. Then you will get the angle. Okay, and then this one is just like a unit of that one. So here's the angle, which is 30. Okay, whatever is the result of this one will go to here, and then text box 4 is this one. Okay, and then the angle is the result of this one, and then degrees, which is the unit. Okay, seat work, so I will not give this one as your seat work anymore. So all I want you to do is do the quizzes seat work 1 and then seat work 2 for now. Okay, and then we have another function, which is len, and then u keys and then l keys. So first one is len, so this will return the number of characters in a string. Okay, so this is very clear. So from here, return the number of character in a string. Okay, so we have here a string wherein if we use the function len, it will return a number. Okay, so what do you mean by number? The characters inside of that string. Okay, so all you have to do is simply count. 1, 2, 3 is the space, 4 is for I, 5s, 6 for the space, 7f, 8u, 9n. So x will return a number of 9. So all you have to do is count the characters inside of that len function. So the result of x is 9. Okay. And then for letter y, so again, PEMDAS. So whatever is inside of the parentheses will be prioritized first. So len 9. So again, just simply count the characters inside of that len function. So we have here n-i-n-e. So the count of that one is 4. So now the value of this one is 4. But we have another function, which is mat.sqrt, or square root, and then 4. So the result of y is 2. Okay, the square root of 4 is 2. Okay, so the value of y is 2. The letter z is again, so just simply count the characters inside of that len function. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So z is, or have a value of 9. Then you get u keys and then l keys. So this one's super straightforward. So u keys is a function wherein it will return this call this one, this value of strings, or this string, into upper cases. So from VB is one wherein we have small caps. So this will just make the entire statement into capital letter, which is IS, and then fun will become capital. So it's the opposite of L case. So of course, L case is for the lower case. So from capital VB will become small letter VB. And then is1 will retain since they are already in small letter format. Another function is a Microsoft.visualbasic.left. So if we have left, we also have right, and then we have for mid. Okay, first one is left. So we have here a string, okay, and then the count of string that you want to retrieve. Okay, So here's the main definition actually. It retrieves text from the left, since this one is Visual Basic, that left side of a string. So for example, we have here a message box. And then inside of that message box, we have a function, Visual Basic, that left. And then of course, inside of that function, it has a value. Okay. So we have a value of this is a test, wherein we were only going to retrieve 4 characters starting from the left, since that is the function. So first one is THIS. So just simply count for 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will print the word THIS, or the word this. Okay. Next example is x is equal to Visual Basic that left. So again, it's that left. Starting from the left, you're going to retrieve 6 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the value of this one is 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay, so that's the value of your x. X1 is right. It's just the opposite of left. So in here, you're going to start from the right, or you're going to retrieve value or characters from the right side. Okay, so again, 4, you're going to retrieve 4 characters starting from the right. Dot TSE. Okay, that's already counted for. So it will print, or it will show EST. Dot. Okay. Next example is this one, and then we're going to retrieve 3 characters starting from the right. So 1, 2, 3. So it will display 0, 1, 1. Okay, simple as that. Next one is mid. Now, let's say you don't want to start from the left or start from the right. So in here, you can start from the middle. But for you to be able to do that one, you have to indicate the starting count of characters where you're going to start, and then how many characters you want to retrieve. Okay, so let's have an example. So dim string as a string, wherein we have a string mid function demo. Okay, wherein x is equal to mid string 1 and then 3. So the first one is where you're going to start, and then how many characters you want to retrieve. Okay, from the variable str, wherein str has a value of mid function demo. Okay, so from here, 1, so that's where you want to start. Now, where you want to start, it is now counted as your first character retrieved. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So again, where you are going to start, that is already counted as 1. Okay. That is why 1 is already the first character retrieved, 2, and then 3. That is why it will display mid. Okay, so next example. We have 14 as a starting character, so just count. So in here, you're going to start from left to right. Okay, so that's how this mid string function break from left to right. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is for the space, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for the space, and then 14 for letter D. Again, we've stopped in letter D, which is the count of starting in. So again, this is where we're going to start, and then this one is already counted as 1, and then we want to count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is why it will return the word demo. And then for letter Z, okay, so it only indicated the starting end. Okay, and it didn't indicate how many characters you want to retrieve. So in that case, whatever is on the right side of that starting end will be retrieved. Like for example, this one. So count 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the space, and then 5. So you've stopped in F. So you didn't declare how many characters you want to retrieve. So by default, it will retrieve everything. Okay, everything on the right side of that starting and which is the letter M. That is why it will display function demo. Okay, so next example is M is equal to meet function, and then you want to start retrieving from 4, and then you want to retrieve 5 characters. So we just count 1, 2, 3, 4. So you will start here in 0, and then just simply count 5 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will display 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. Okay, so that is how the left, right, and then the mid function work. Okay, next one is for the CHR. So this one returns the character associated with the specified character code. Okay, so for example, you declared CHTR as gar, and then CHTR is equal to CHR65. So again, whatever is a value on the right will be passed on to the left side. So in here, 65 is letter A. So again, if it's CHR, this only accepts one character. Okay. So for 97 in here in ASCII code is small letter A. Okay. 62 didn't show here, but it's a symbol of greater than. For 37 is percentage. So if you want to see the complete set of this one, so just search in the internet the ASCII code or the HTML code or the character code. Okay, it will show you this one. So this is for the decimal value, like hexadecimal, octal, HTML, and then the character. Okay, and then ASC is the opposite of the CHR. So in here, you need the HTML or the decimal for you to display the equivalent character. In here, you'll be needing the character, okay, which is letter A, and then it will display the equivalent HTML value or a decimal value. So capital letter A will return 65, small letter A is 97, and then Apple returns 65. So again, if it's ASCII, ASC, or CHR, this will only accept one character. That is why it only reads the letter A, and then the rest were not counted anymore. So only counted the letter A, which is 65. Okay, so PPLE are ignored. Okay, so understanding the colors in coding. So we have already done this one a while ago. So if it's color green, means it's in a comment and then will not be executed when the program runs. And anything in blue is a VB keyword. Okay, it's like this one, and sub, private sub, and so forth. And anything in red is a VB string constant. Okay, it's like this one. This is a constant of this first variable. Or let's create another constant. Constant var as string is equal to haha. There you go. So those values, those color red, are actually constant. Okay, this one has a value of haha. Okay, and then anything in black is an executable statement. So executable statements frequently contain keywords, so a mixture of blue and black is very common. And then anything in squiggly blue line is a syntax error. Okay, so assignment, so I will not keep this one as your assignments anymore. Oh, we are done. Okay, so how many hours consumed? So it's 3 hours and 44 minutes. That's good. So instead of having a meeting of 8 hours, so we've only consumed 3 hours and 44 minutes. Okay, so for this first module, I will require you guys to finish the first two quizzes first, and then I will upload soon the instruction for your first laboratory. So just stay tuned for the announcement. Yeah, for my announcement on your first laboratory on finals. So if you guys have any queries, so you can always message me directly to my messenger. Okay, so time check, it's already 1:32 a.m. So I've started at around 9, I guess. At 9. Ah, no, I've started at around 10. Anyway, so yeah, it's 3 hours and 45 minutes. So bye bye. So that's it for your module 1. So if you have any clarification or if you're not convinced with my explanation, so you can always message me directly. Okay, so yeah, goodbye.